to start this off, just you and me and our little dog who's staring at me with these eyes that are just deep with love. I love you too. Let's stay together forever. All right? No? No. I want to stay with you. It's okay. Yeah, no one's here yet. It's just you and me. Oh, Delicate just arrived. Hello, Delicate. So glad to see you, as a matter of fact.
You cleared your throat like you all of a sudden had to get serious.
Delicate's here. Everyone, she can see. It's not just a kind of relatively slow day out there today, but also, pardon me for clunking around, but also, the
anticipation.
Hang on, Tanner.
The
what's
suspense.
up?
The suspense. What is he going to say?
I have had like a crazy day. Can you review?
You had a crazy day. You did a lot of reading from your book today, which was nice. You recorded some videos, or just audio of you reading from your book.
Oh yeah, today. Yeah, that's true. Well, so that was really fun. Yeah, it's been a crazy day, but for Leo's birthday, I'm gonna release some readings.
His birthday party?
His birthday is coming up. I just realized, I think Toby's is in. I think he's a Leo. So
Toby's a Leo.
Yeah. So
a Leo rising.
Yeah.
Astrology.
Yeah. So his is past, but from now on, their birthdays will be celebrated in in-depth readings.
But
well, maybe not from now on, but this.
But Toby is a Cancer sun. Dale.
Toby's a Cancer sun, yeah.
Yeah, so his birthday is whatever.
Oh, Toby's a Cancer sun.
Yes.
He's a Leo rising.
He's a Leo rising.
Right.
That's right.
So he's a Cancer sun. So his is like in June. What is that? July? June?
Summertime.
Summertime, and the living is. So, yes, I got to. So I recorded. I'm gonna. I've got until Tuesday. His birthday is on Tuesday, so I'm gonna record through the weekend. I want to get like as good a reading as possible. But I'll tell you something, and this is like a little bit self-congratulatory, and I don't give a shit.
Don't give a shit.
Yesterday I was self-deprecating in a probably a little too severe manner. I think probably some people are like, "Fuck, this guy's like, what's wrong with him?" Well, now I shall boast because I have not read my book in I don't know how long. I mean, months and months. And so it's a really great read. I'm really fucking proud of it, man.
You should be.
So it was really exciting to be able to like open it back up and get reading again, and just I mean, it's just a really engaging. I like what's interesting about it is like I think that I have a reasonable amount of objectivity when it comes to my own work. There's always going to be a high level of subjectivity because I fucking made it, but I have enough separation. I know what's good. This is why I'm a good producer.
You are very like appropriately critical of your own work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like in a mood where you'll read your own work, and like you'll confide in me because I'm helping you edit it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this is shit. This has to go. This has to get cut. This sucks. And I'm just like, no, you're overreacting. I don't know why you're looking at your work this way.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you have a really fair assessment of your own work. I'm not that way. I actually can't trust my own judgment because everything that I produce that is my own, like my writing, it's wonderful. First draft, incredible. Like I don't show it to anybody, but I certainly can't be trusted to.
But you won't you can't deny your greatness. You won't deny your
because
greatness.
like I have a relationship with it. So because it exists, I'm like, I love you.
That's fucking beautiful. Erica's
it's a problem
here.
though. It's a problem though because I have no idea whether what I'm making actually is shit.
Hi, Erica. Very good to see you.
I have to rely on other people to tell me.
Well, I think it's great to have that kind of confidence. First of all, I think it can be detrimental in some other ways because if it can be a barrier to you breaking through some of maybe the shortcomings that you have as a writer or whatever.
Yeah, there's also this really sneaky thing that happens where like I'm sure it's good, but I actually am not like emotionally mature enough to hear that it's not, so I don't share it with anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I'm definitely more harder than you are, and maybe I'm as hard as certainly some people I knew regarding the work. Look, man. I mean, I want to I want to achieve a certain level of greatness, and I don't think I've come even remotely close to it. Like there's a greatness I have in mind for myself that I feel is reasonably within my reach. So it's not a greatness that's unrealistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a greatness that I feel like I can achieve. I feel like I'm miles and miles and miles and miles away from it.
I feel like you have achieved that level
Well, and that's nice, but I don't.
previously in your life. I
Yeah.
feel like that's something that's definitely attainable to you. You know, you're a really hardworking person. That's really all what it takes.
Bobo's here. Hi, Bobo. Good to see you.
Did you see the wrench next to Delicatessen's name?
Well, that's because Delicatessen, or Delicate as I like to call her, is a moderator of this channel.
Well, that's so fun. But what's so cool about it is that it like kicked in because the very first message in the chat does not have the wrench.
Well, I hadn't, she's been in and out, and I've been trying to get her become a moderator.
Oh, right.
And then, but she's busy. She's about to leave today, and I was like, because she's got all this stuff going on. But we talked about it.
She's got all this stuff going on, and you're putting more responsibility.
Well, this is only stuff that she's going on. This isn't like she's got a regular life, of course, but. And there's not a responsibility. She can say, "Fuck you, Dale. I don't want to be your monitor your moderator."
That's true.
So bugger off, mate. But she volunteered to help us moderate this channel. And while we don't necessarily need a bunch of moderating at this time, at this very moment, this is probably going to be a pretty slow show. I mean, Antonio Brown is my headline. Don't expect a lot of people to come by.
Is your mic close enough?
Well, my meters are good.
Okay, good. You have a lot to tell me about the headlines today because they're all sports related.
They are sports related.
And I think
I only did one headline on the what you call it?
The thumbnail.
On the thumbnail, yeah. Because
but we have other sports.
I literally smashed that thumbnail out in 5 minutes before the live because it's been that crazy. And part of the reason was I got myself in. I've been kind of, I guess, trolling. It ends with lawsuits and just having a ball, really. It's so great because how many they set themselves up.
It is a time sink though, and I think that was part of the point. Like, remember that we have evidence of the publicists telling each other that part of their strategy is to scramble spaces that are pro-lively. So if we're all hanging out and having a discussion that's pro-lively, if they come in and they start arguing with everybody and it sidelines or distracts or even just frustrates everybody, that's like mission accomplished for them. So don't get too dragged in. It's just like any kind of warfare. If you can frustrate your opponent, you're winning.
I'm having fun. And
if you can waste your opponent's time, you're winning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a literal ball. I'm
literal.
No, I am. I'm giddy about it at times. I laugh because these people have set themselves up to fail at this thing time and again. I mean,
especially this late.
It's just
this late
hysterical.
in the game of this lawsuit where we have discovered so much, and Baldoni's side keeps accumulating more and more L's.
Yeah, excuse me. They, like I said, they just kind of keep setting themselves up. So today, this person was talk because the big outrage right now is the amount of money that Blake Lively is asking for. And which is hilarious. And, one person, for example, says, you trying to tell me she lost $30 million in 1 year? It's all fucking puffy chest on me, And my response was, because, she said,
though.
And then she
you're
said,
only going off this fucking paper that
and then she said, well, as if they know, right? So, but then she says, but, there's a reasonable amount of, information you can glean just from doing some simple internet searches on it. And if you have any idea of how, sort of the way, how, whatever, the disbursements work on things like actors pay through loan out corporations, et cetera, and so on, then you can generally estimate what people earn. And with Blake, her estimated net worth is $30 million currently. If she obtained that wealth by majority through acting, then she has made in her career approximately $90 million in acting, both that would be fees, back end, residuals, all that kind of thing. For example, she had a substantial play in It Ends With Us. Her back end within It Ends With Us. I estimate, so she got, I think she got, what was it? what was her actual fee? I can't remember. It was like 2 million or whatever, 1 million, 1.8 million.
I don't recall either.
I can't remember. It was like her back end probably landed her between $8 and $9 million. And it's just people don't understand any of that. Like, for example, now they'll be like, she got $2 million for it. She made $30. She made $8 or $9 million off of that. And that's just in the first year. Well, because they get all fucking, yeah, you fucking stupid. Stupid. You can't even shit in my house, let alone step in it. Like, I don't know where that came from.
It's a little backwards.
Well, you know why? Because it is.
It's a little backwards.
You can't step in my house.
Unless you like shit through the chimney. That's how
I just had the visual.
That's how you shit in the house
I had the
without
visual of
stepping in
somebody
it.
just sitting in their home and all of a sudden, you're like, did somebody just shit in our chimney?
And from the chimney, you can hear him go, I just shit in your house.
I just shit in your house. I'm leaving now.
I didn't even have to step in it. I didn't even have to step in your house. That's how stupid you are.
So stupid you are. Clean it up. I gotta go.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why we got there.
No humor is too lowbrow for to realize.
Well, I am a former stand-up comedian, so I know no bounds. You foolishly just put a little John Mulvaney on, and he has the mannequin pussies on, and he's also dropping. You know,
That's a weird phrase to just state without context.
When he first fucking said it, I stopped. I looked. I was like, I looked at you.
John
Like,
Mulvaney has like a little talk show. It's on
Everybody's
Netflix.
Live. It's a great fucking name.
Huh?
Everybody's Live.
Yeah.
It's a great name. It's a really perfect name.
Yeah, and then he had a musical guest that he was introducing.
Yeah.
And the musical guest's name is Mannequin Pussy.
Yeah, Mannequin Pussy. I've never heard of them. Have you?
No, but that's why it's such a strange thing to just throw out in the context of a sentence. It doesn't make any sense.
Sounds like a really, really
You just
risky
said John
kind of-
Mulvaney had Mannequin Pussy on, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like the visual, you're like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to picture.
It does sound like a horrible kink.
Yes.
It's like, it's funny.
Like the tabloids,
It's funny that happened, that came up because they're touting a new robot. By the way, we fucked up that robot bit so bad. The robot that we talked about, that new one that came out recently, $500 a month.
The wealthy person surveillance?
Yeah, it's not though. Actually, it's not. I looked into it. Okay, you can go ahead and pretend you know, but I actually did look into it.
This is the segment where Dale tells us all about how he trusts the tech oligarchs to do everything right and not harm anybody.
Well, you can try to paint me as some kind of naive fool, but I'm not. I actually did the work, and it takes components to do the kind of surveilling that you're talking about. And control of those components, autonomous control of those opponents, is absolute if the paths are there. So the likelihood of so these robots are not.
Are they connected to your Wi-Fi?
Only if you allow them to be connected to the Wi-Fi through a So you have control over the hardware. There's no doubt about it. Listen, the level of lawsuits that these people would incur if that privacy barrier is broken,
I bet the fine
is
print.
not even close.
I bet the fine print in the fucking you have to the terms of service and shit. I bet it's like 17,000 pages long. I bet that in there in like very, very fine print, they're like, we are not liable if the robot kills your dog.
Well, I'm sure that's true. I'm sure there are definitely liability waivers that they're gonna
sure.
they're gonna occur. I would highly not recommend getting a robot early in the iterations of robots if you have things like children and pets.
You know what? I'm gonna consider getting like a house robot. Like a robot to do all my chores and stuff.
Yeah.
If they're like a third of the size of me and unable to reach my neck.
Yeah.
Or like can easily be kicked over. Like can easily be like defeated.
Where I'm going here.
These robots that they put in people's houses look like they're indestructible and tall enough to strangle you to death, smother you with a pillow. No one would hear you scream.
Where I'm going is that we completely botched that story because we just didn't prepare enough for it. We didn't know the facts.
Speak for yourself, bro. I'm paranoid about those things.
No, I didn't say your opinion
about.
of it is botched. Okay. I said the facts were botched. The robot is autonomous or can be autonomous. It does perform chores, although the folding leaves much to be desired, but it does a lot of other chores. I don't know if it's quite enough of a useful robot to, like, even if I were in the market, want me to put one in my house. But they're interesting. The robots are going to be interesting. The idea of privacy is going to be a growing and consistent issue. And you just have to remember, they don't want to get these robots in homes because if there's no adoption, There's no that there. It's a wrap. That industry will fall, and so they're going to, just like every other business, they're going to have to acquiesce to the market, at least to a certain extent. I dug deep into this robot. They have a very, very in-depth section on their website, reasonably in-depth section. Let me finish.
Their sales website, right?
In their website regarding, the privacy matters and I found that, I mean, I actually did the reading and I actually watched the videos, and I can tell you that I feel confident in that company from what they're telling me. That doesn't mean I would jump into it. That doesn't mean I'm being naive.
Only going off of okay, so we know that Elizabeth Holmes had a website that people were compelled to trust. But that doesn't and she was lying. But
that's not what their problem is. You're going to that because there was a slant on that robot about how everybody's saying, well, you're releasing something that is half baked, and that may be true. So that part may be true, but that has nothing to do with autonomy or rather privacy. Maybe autonomy, but not privacy. Although I will tell you that that there's a lot of that is not true based on what they're saying they're shipping, right? And they have apparently it's beta tested. This isn't like they're not like we're not beta testers according to.
Are we having a longer conversation about this robot? Because we should just establish that what you're talking about is it's called 1X Neo. I guess like house assistant robot or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, it's like the brand is Neo, Neo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to establish what we're talking about.
That's that Neo robot. So anyway, it's reasonably autonomous. It does actually come out of the box with all the controls you need to separate it and keep it. You can run that. You can run that robot in a house that has no internet, and it'll do all the tasks. So. You can turn off all the internet. If it doesn't have Wi-Fi built in, it's not a router. It's not a Wi-Fi provider, ISP, internet service provider. It can't be. You need something to run into the house, or if it's going to be a wireless one, and then it has to have that kind of radio installed. It doesn't have any of that, and that's all in the specs and inspected by the FCC. And so their specs are not something that they can just put on a piece of paper and hand out. The FCC approves everything that goes into the market. So. This robot does not have those. I think future robots are probably not going to have them because people are going to reject that, or it'll be a special order in the same way that when you used to be able to when they first came out with iPads, they came out with iPads and then they came out with iPads that are 3G. Do you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Back in the day, obviously we're in 5G territory these days, but it was 3G back then. So it's that kind of system or whatever. Anyway, the reason I was going to this was talking about Mannequin Pussy, which, by the way, Stacy saw this summer.
Oh, yeah?
She said that...
they must be good. They got booked on
She saw them this summer. Rat Boys, I love that name, opened for them. It was epic.
Yeah,
I want to see Rat Boys.
We haven't seen their performance yet, but that's cool that they got booked on that show.
I'm excited to see what they
must be good.
But the reason I was bringing them up is because there's a new robot that China's touting right now. And it's like a female model looking. Well, it has curves.
It has curves.
It has a bust. It has like the shape of a bust. Similar to the when we're talking about which name what's it called?
Oh, the Neo.
The Neo is similar to the Neo.
Well, that's really interesting that they do that, because I know that when they were developing all of these robot that you put, not robots, but they put these devices in your house that are supposed to talk to you, like Alexa and what's the other one?
Yeah, Google has
Siri,
one, et cetera, et cetera,
all those. They did a bunch of market testing, and they were like, people want women voices to do this work.
Well, China's on top of it.
Yeah, so that people are like the developers are like, when we put male voices, people engage with it differently, and they weren't as open and willing to engage with it. Isn't that amazing?
I see this model. I see that. Well, I mean,
so of course they're going to make, if you want a robot to do chores in your house, they're going to make that a feminine robot.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. The one that they're selling is more, masculine. The one that just went on sale is more of a masculine robot.
No, you're saying that these people that developed
in China,
yes,
this one that's in China, that I don't know that they don't have a flat-chested one or whatever, or more male centric one. The one that they showed though was, a female robot, and anyway, so it's walking around and I see it's got breasts basically, or the appearance of such.
The one in the Jetsons that wore a little French maid outfit.
Yeah, maybe that's coming. Well, now you're going where I'm going. Now you're going wrong. As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well. You know what I mean? Dudes, this is not going to end well. Like, but it made me realize, like, if they think that the population is in decline now, just make like a sex bot. Just make one of them. Just make one that talks to you, that, you know, gives you actual auditory, not just physical feedback.
Oh my God.
There'll be no babies. There will be no babies.
Suits me fine.
It was just weird to see because I was like, wow.
I mean, that's the thing is like,
pretty soon dudes are going to be banging robots.
I actually don't, you know, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it's a slippery slope. You know, you can't give people fake robot relationships or there won't be any real ones. And my whole thing is like, if there's a person who is satisfied by a robot relationship, then maybe they shouldn't actually be engaged in the dating scene.
It's weird.
Like maybe that's actually like a net win for everybody.
I mean, you're not wrong. Look,
they're happy.
So many,
everyone else is protected.
There's so many
you know?
benefits. Forget about it. As far as like, you know, sort of like taming the creeps, you know, I mean, there's a lot of taming of the creeps for sure. Anyway, dude, the robot thing is like, we're going to see this, like this, they write, and it's interesting because you bring up and others have brought up whether or not this is like a Elizabeth Holmes kind of scenario where they're taking this half product. She didn't even have a half baked product. That these people are being compared to shouldn't be. She literally completely lied. There was absolutely no technology that she spoke about.
I understand.
These
but
guys have
she
tech.
made claims just like you were stating claims they made on their website about this robot, and I was simply saying that she also made claims on her website.
Well, you're not
and
the
tricked
only
a
one.
bunch of people.
You're not the only one talking about Elizabeth Holmes, so that's why I'm bringing it up in that way.
Yeah, but I also like, just to be clear, like when I'm picturing the robot mistake of putting like a robot that is strong and as tall as you in your house, I'm thinking about like both Blade Runner movies, Total Recall, like all of the movies where like the androids end up, you know, doing violence.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway,
learn.
The world is changing so rapidly at this point. Like we won't, I don't know that we're going to be able to really truly keep up to it. Like that's how fucking fast things are churning now that the big beautiful bill is out and these companies now have this like blank check to do whatever they want with their AI. We don't even know how far crazy it's going to get. But it is coming rapidly. This robot that I watched today was so fucking impressive in its movements and reaction. And it was a staggering thing.
People were suspicious that it was just a human model in a suit.
Oh, you saw the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. And so what they did was they trimmed off the lower leg, like just below the knee. They took scissors and they trimmed it off. And I was like, okay, but that could also be like a double amputee in a suit.
You
like,
guys don't stop. Conspiracy theorists, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
they're galloping
you're
horses,
not doing
man.
enough.
By the way, I think it's
Did
Austin.
you see what Delicate did in the chat?
What?
In all caps, like and subscribe.
Thanks.
Isn't that great?
That's really great. By the way,
You're doing a great job.
I see.
We love having you.
I see Austin is here. Well, thank you for your help. Really, I mean, we're really grateful for you, and we're grateful for all of you. Look, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but I have every bit of confidence in this channel. I tell you, I do a lot of research in what we're doing because this little live means a lot to me. It's not just the relationships that we're building, but I really like the idea of us creating content that is meaningful to me or, you know, and to you. And that I feel like also might be not just entertaining, but even, you know, potentially educational, helpful, whatever. And so this is becoming increasingly more important to me every time. And again, like I know how young we are at this. Like we're very, very young. I've never done anything like this in my life.
You're just a baby.
So we are baby podcasters. And so, you know, watching this thing grow and expand and, you know, knowing that it's got such great potential because we're, you know, our little live is a really fun little live as it is. And so and we have such great, a great young community growing that I'm highly convinced. And where I was actually going with that is that I did a lot of research on like the growth of channels. We're hitting all the markers early.
Nice.
For a successful channel.
Sweet.
They're hard to see because they're very subtle. Mm-hmm. But there's a set of metrics that I monitor and that I'm comparing to major successes. And we're going up that escalator. And we're ahead of...
We're going up that escalator, guys. We're going straight up.
We're ahead. You're making fun of me a lot.
No, I love it.
Okay.
What? I'm joking.
No, you can't. You can make fun of me all
I think
you
it's
want.
great. I think it's great.
We're even in many cases, we're actually like exceeding a lot of the sort of early numbers. Now, look, it doesn't ensure our success or anything. I mean, we got a lot of hard work ahead of us, and we definitely got we got a lot of work ahead of us. But it's so great to have somebody like Delicate who's willing to help us with the growth and getting her familiar with things and doing stuff right now is going to be a big deal if this thing takes off. And the cool thing about like not just Delicate, but any one of you who want to join sort of the team, when this thing grows up, we're gonna this is gonna be a paying gig. This is gonna be part-time, pay for people who are going to do things like write, research, and moderate these lives.
Sure would be nice.
I don't want to like we're going to get paid last, as far as I'm concerned. I'm excited about being able to grow and build a community. And by the way, for those who end up becoming a part of the live on a more, sort of whatever, in a deeper involvement or higher level or whatever, I don't know how to put it. But for those who participate more in the actual production, not only are they gonna, I don't remember where I was going. Forget about it. It's great. We're heading in the right direction. Having somebody like, of course, anybody can, if you're interested in helping, let us know. The things that we're looking for right now, the things I'm looking for in terms of people who can help are research and writing. So that's just people who will take the topics that we're interested in covering on this live and bring us some of the ideas that are out there that are, sort of like at least preliminarily researched for us so that we can go in and kind of hit it hard for the lives. We're looking for people like that. And then, we obviously have moderators and we'll need more than one, hopefully, as we grow. Certainly. Right now, obviously, Delicate's more than enough because we have 10 people here. She can handle 10, but eventually we'll need more. So anyway, if there's something you're interested in, then let me know. There was something else I wanted to bring up. Oh, right. Okay, great. So Austin says that she owes me a reply. Well, that's good because Austin had reached out to me about the editor for her book. Her book sounds so fucking neat.
What is it?
Well, I'm not gonna get into that.
Can't?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that her book sounds really fucking cool.
That's cool.
It's her like she did it was like
you can't say anything about it. Why are you saying anything?
I can say these things.
Okay,
I got it. I know how not to spoil a
Well, I just didn't want to get teased with no information.
Well, you're involved. You're going to be fine. As these others, they're going to be like, damn it. But she gave me a little hint of her writing, intentionally or not. I can't tell you, but there was this little hint of it. It's fucking good, bro. Like really good. So I'm really excited about being able to help her in any way.
Maisie's with us in the chat. Said, hey, Dale, I have a question.
Okay.
Do you remember me? My user used to be called Maisie and Courtney. I've been joining your live since you started going live on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I do remember Maisie and Courtney. I wasn't sure if you were Maisie and Courtney because, well, where's Courtney?
I didn't recognize you two. You usually come together. No, it's just you alone.
Oh, Cosmic Urgency said that Gremlins 3 is happening.
Oh, yeah. They announced 2027.
It's devastating. It's bad news. It's terrible news. It's like a third term of Trump.
I know if they don't do everything in like puppets and practical effects, I'll be really pissed. Like if they try and like fucking AI CGI some shit, I'll be bummed. Cosmic Urgency said Beetlejuice 2 sucked.
Yeah,
I was super excited to see it, and then somebody did like a little thread on Twitter about the difference in the lighting and the color correction.
Yeah.
And how in the original, there's so much depth of color and range and, light play with dark and all the different variations of color, even on just the actor's face. So Michael Keaton's in his Beetlejuice makeup, and you can see that the circles around his eyes are purple. They're not black, they're purple, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a really great play on the green. And they just thought of everything. Well, in the sequel, in Beetlejuice 2, the light on him is just green. Like they didn't bother to light it creatively. So the light on him is just green. And so you just can't see any of the nuance in his makeup. And everything is just flat because nothing contrasts like it did in the first. And they just did this whole slideshow of like comparisons from the first movie to the second and how the second one just looks like shit. And it's such a downer. Like there's just I think they rush these productions so much that they can't articulate their vision well enough like they used to be able to. I don't know.
Maisie and Courtney are still friends.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they're not talking as much as they normally do, but they went their separate ways in account wise. Well, that's good. Yeah, having autonomy in your internet experience is probably a good thing.
Don't give Dale any ideas.
Well, I got my own account. You got your own account. Dude, it's for life, bro.
When you were,
you don't have to like.
When you didn't go live on Monday, I thought it
Catch
would
me
be
on fire to get rid of me, bro. You got to burn me to the. You got to burn me to the ground.
When you didn't go live on Monday, I thought it would be really funny if you like pranked everybody by just going live solo on Tuesday. Be like, everything's fine, guys. We're just going to continue like this.
Yeah. Hey, guys, Angela, she's traveling. Cosmic Grizzly said that the new Beetlejuice looked like a Party City commercial.
Yeah, so I skipped it. I'll watch it for sure because I love those characters so much.
Let's blast through this headline since it's not that big of a headline, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. And then we'll get to everything else.
Well, don't blast through because I'm curious about it. I don't know anything about this controversy. I don't know what he's in trouble for.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I don't know much about him at all.
Well, do you know who he is? Do you remember when he first started going mad? This is a mental health thing. It's sad.
I remember that he started doing like shenanigans, and his own teammates or his own
like
management,
Tom Brady and shit. Yeah,
that they were like, this guy is trouble. We're causing problems, right?
Yes. He was extricated. Is that the word?
Extradited.
Extricated is freedom, right?
Extricated is when you extract somebody from like a crevasse.
Yeah, freeing somebody, right?
Yes.
From something, yeah.
A crevasse.
A crevasse. Doesn't it sound like a French like dessert or something?
Mm-hmm. Sounds delicious.
I'll have a crevasse.
In reality, it's not.
With the foot in it. Yeah, the foot.
So what do you do?
Antonio Brown's in custody for attempted murder.
What?
Yeah, he was in Dubai, and they found him, and then they extradited him to the U.S. to face charges.
That's so weird that he thought that he could hide in Dubai because doesn't everybody know that it's like the most surveilled city in the entire world?
Yeah, dude, and they're not gonna it didn't work. So he's under arrest and back in the United States about 6 months after the former NFL superstar was accused of trying to shoot and kill a man at an Aiden Ross boxing event in Florida.
Oh, what?
37-year-old Antonio Brown was extradited this week with United Arab Emirates authorities shipping the retired wideout back to the United States, from Dubai, where he was allegedly attempting to evade the reach of the American legal system. We're told that Brown was accompanied by federal agents to the New York metropolitan area, where he was turned over to local police. He is scheduled to be sent back to South Florida, where the incident went down. Antonio Brown will likely be held in a Miami-Dade Department of Corrections and charged with one count of attempted second-degree murder with a deadly weapon. As reported shortly after the mid-May incident, the alleged victim, Zol Karanian Kwame Nantambu, told us that Antonio snapped on him at the influencer boxing event and ultimately tried to shoot him with a handgun. Brown has been adamant that he was simply protecting himself from people who were trying to jump and rob him. So
he has a defense.
That's his defense. I mean, he's got, we'll see how it holds up. And look, I mean, I don't wish the guy any harm, but this guy's got mental problems. I mean, he has serious, mental issues that started to really degrade. He was playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a star wideout during the Ben Roethlisberger era, mm-hmm. And he started to really decline then.
Is it just a problem like he has like an impulse control issue?
He's like Kanye, but like maybe even a little worse.
Okay, so
he
talks a lot of shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Loads of it. And he says weird shit and like just like out there
conspiracies?
stuff. Conspiracies and just like it feels a lot like delusion,
like self-aggrandizement type.
Self-aggrandizing for sure. I mean, diva wide receivers are not new to that. And he is certainly up there with that. But
because there's certain brain injuries that will make it so that people no longer have inhibitions and they'll act out really impulsively and they'll do really reckless stuff. Like there's a lot of people who report that happening to their family members after they, somebody fucking falls off a horse and then all of a sudden they're like, drag racing and like getting in fights at bars and stuff. Right.
Well.
Like adrenaline junkie shit.
I feel bad for the guy in a lot of different ways, and I certainly feel bad for any victims of his. But this guy, the problem is that I see with guys like him is that these guys, or these, it's not just men, certainly, but these people who get to these very high places in life where they become untouchable. Kanye is a great example of it, where they're surrounded by more people who will enable that behavior in order to not disturb. I wrote in my book today. I told you I read some of my book. Part of what I read was because for Leo's birthday, I'm going to read the Emily Foster scene, because fuck it. So I was reading it, and in it I talk about how I wasn't proud of the decision I made not to speak out about it, but that I was afraid that I would lose something. So this is me really displaying the kind of behavior that I'm saying that I'm being critical of around people like Antonio Brown, around people like Kanye West, because I ultimately, by not absolutely freaking out in that moment, which is what I should have done. By not freaking out in that moment, I just enabled it. I emboldened him to behave in this way, and really helped to be a part of that which lays the sort of foundation for him to keep doing it.
It's different when you're.
And it was my bedroom too.
I know, but you're not talking about a situation in which you were watching somebody be abused, right? Like, so it's like it's not like.
Well, that's
you didn't really have a duty to intervene. You know what I mean?
Well, it was my apartment.
With Kanye West, like he's wrecking his own reputation, and he's acting recklessly, and he's threatening people and stuff. So he has a lot of people around him, but he's not actually doing it's not like he's
harming physically.
Exactly. So
he is mentally harming people.
Well, it's true, but what is the duty of the people around him to prevent? You know, at what point it's like you have a duty to stop somebody from breaking the law, right? Like, especially if it's going to harm somebody. But until that happens, you don't really have a duty to do much of anything.
It's just not about duty. It's not about duty. There's no duty here. I'm not talking about an obligation. I'm talking about how people are basically enabling and emboldening this kind of behavior so that they don't lose their opportunity. As opposed to, like, for example, suggesting the kinds of things that might help them by, like, for example, getting in between them.
It is, but in your situation, though, this is the only reason why I ever want to push back on this is because you're doing a little bit of victim blaming of yourself, right? When you're saying, I should have done something better. Like, it's not your fucking job to tell him, a fucking grown person, how to behave. If he wants to make an ass of himself in front of all of his friends and, like, you know, create that reputation for himself, that's not your fucking job to control him or
I appreciate
change him or do whatever the fuck. Like, you're a victim of the situation by being put in a really sticky spot where you have to feel like, oh, am I morally aligned with what's happening right now? Like, that's a victimization. You know what I mean? So I can't like co-sign your assumption that you should have acted any differently than you did.
Well, you know, look, you know, it wouldn't matter. I'm not looking for a co-signer because I already have a certain amount of feelings about it myself, and I'm not blaming myself. It's like I don't feel like. First of all, I think somebody asked yesterday if Leonardo DiCaprio was friends with Emily Foster after the event, and they were friends, and they may still well be. I don't know. I don't know if they're friends or not, but they might still be friends. Mm-hmm. They were when I left Hollywood in 2005 or 6. I saw them together, or 2004 maybe it was. I can't remember, but I saw them at an event that I showed up with, and she was there with a bunch of my other former friends. So it's not as much that her issue or my issue there is. I'm using it as kind of maybe it's a thin example, but I don't think it's that thin, because the truth is that at the moment that was happening, I was not happy with it. I didn't like that it was happening in my bed. I didn't like that it was happening in my bed without my fucking permission, especially. I also didn't like the fact that it was not, that I knew that what he was doing, that he was taking advantage of her. That's the difference.
Like, that aside, all of that aside, just the fact that everybody was in your bedroom watching something you didn't approve of happening in your bed. That's the only reason. That's the only reason that you needed to do anything.
Well, again, I don't want to get too far down my story because this is not where this focuses. This is about Antonio Brown.
Okay.
This is about Kanye West.
Let's talk about Antonio Brown.
This is about Amanda Bynes. This is about all these people who, like, Amanda Bynes is a good example. I'm gonna like hallucinate a little bit around this. But I'm going to venture to guess that there were people in her life, probably her own fucking family members, who would rather keep her out working and keep her in the cash flow business for their family than they would be to try to get her the help, the psychological help, or even possibly, you know, the actual medical help that she needed in order to not fall so far down. Like, I feel like a lot of these things, whether it's Antonio Brown, whether it's Kanye West, whether it's Gary Busey, whether it's any of these people, that if they actually had a support system that cared about them as people and not about what these people delivered to them, their own fucking family members included, right? And this is not, Britney Spears is another example, right? We know Macaulay Culkin talks about the monster, his father, exploiting his own children, right? For his own fucking gain. And I see this happening, peripherally and through the lens of as afforded by the media. But I just see this happening, at least appears to be happening so fucking much. And what happens is, like, this person, there's a comment on this Antonio Brown, on the TMZ article on the Antonio Brown incident. And the commenter says, his bad behavior keeps escalating. I hope they throw away the key. And that bad behavior keeps escalating was something we all witnessed. We all watched Antonio Brown becoming progressively, we did with Kanye as well, progressively worse. More and more madder by the fucking day. And there is no support system, I don't believe, behind these people. One, because they're extremely powerful. They can cast away. There's there might even actually footage of it, but I'm sure I read something about, I don't know who it was specifically with Kanye, but Kanye was like, get the fuck out, you're fired. Because this person was trying to stop them, right, or trying to help Kanye.
It's the same way when you deal with somebody who's really struggling with addiction, where they feel like they've got everything under control, but the addictive mind is trying to like expel anybody who's going to challenge them and get between them and their substances. So they just end up like isolating themselves, and then they get to have the addiction all to themselves. It's the same sort of dynamic, I think. It's really tough. Like, if you want proximity to somebody because you care about them, sometimes you'll make a deliberate choice not to challenge them or challenge their bad behavior because you'll be pushed away.
Yeah.
And you can't help somebody if you're not involved in their life. So a lot of people will watch their loved ones suffer because they recognize that they're just waiting. They're biding their time until there's a time to reach them, So I don't know that it's fair to say that everybody in these people's orbit is like an accomplice, A lot of times people are just like waiting for the right time to intervene.
Yeah, I listen, I'm not suggesting, look, I'm talking about these long games where we see the losses. And what we recognize today, another absolute tragedy today, a rookie for the Dallas Cowboys was found unalived in a porta potty in Texas after running from the cops. And he was a 24-year-old.
He did it to himself?
He did. It's absolutely clear that he did. He's 24 years old. He had a history of mental illness. And it's a good example in that, like, the family can't always reach them. This kid got drafted in the second round.
That's so wild when that happens to somebody who's like reaching the pinnacle of like their goals, It's that's so
I mean, this kid
strange.
Wasn't even close to the pinnacle. He just got drafted second round.
Oh yeah, I know, but like he's like high achieving, like
Super
obviously
achieving.
Someplace he wanted to be his whole life.
I watched the Dallas game against Arizona this weekend. And
did he play?
He played. Not only did he play, he got a massive play. He blocked a punt and took it into the end zone, fell on it in the end zone for a touchdown, which is a massive play.
He got a touchdown this weekend?
He got a touchdown this past weekend. And he's a second round draft pick. The ceiling was extremely high. Second round draft picks, there's a great expectation for those. They're often the very next pick from your first in an NFL draft. Sometimes you can have multiple second round picks, but in this case, it was probably Dallas's second pick of the draft. I mean, it's a major like opportunity this kid had, and it was just pure depression. He'd apparently on numerous occasions threatened. He's been dealing with ideation for many years.
God. And
just before he pulled the trigger, it was a gunshot wound, self-inflicted. Just before he pulled the trigger, he
should do content warnings on this live.
he texted his family and said goodbye.
Yikes.
But it's a good example of what we're talking about in that this poor kid, like, there's no question his family, they immediately said, we've been working so hard trying to, this is a very long problem, a very long standing problem for him.
Yeah, and it's really rough that that's such a high profile situation. Because how devastating for people to go through it, but also to have everybody, I mean, including us, like talk about it,
Yeah, it's news. It's going to be news. It's a sad and horrible thing, but it's certainly going to be something that we do talk about because, well, look, I mean, on the one hand, on the other hand, I think it's a very fortunate thing to talk about. I'll tell you this, man. As somebody who has struggled with depression at that level, not at that level, like he's the highest level, but somebody who has struggled with it at that level, or at a similar level. I can't remember what you said. You just kind of threw me off the rails there. Oh, that sucks. I had a good point to make. It was a really important point.
Cosmic Urgency said, I was looking forward to checking the Stranger Things animated series, assuming it'd be 80s style animation, but it's a modern CGI animation thing.
Oh, it's terrible news. I never watched that show. I started watching it and then I just backed off of it for some reason. I don't know. I felt like it was just too Goonies and too like...
I know.
It was like, I don't know.
It was a little bit of like an aggregate of all of the inspiration sources, right? Like Goonies is a really excellent example. There was also like Stand By Me in there. All of the other 80s shows that involved kids.
Yeah, which I guess, I mean, obviously there was like an 80s inspired Joe and blah, 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 blah. And that's really cool. But for me, it just, it started to miss fast. And apparently it really goes downhill.
Yeah, if you read It and you saw all of the It, movies that were made and the It TV show and miniseries, then you don't need to watch Stranger Things.
So anyway, my heart goes out to anybody related to Antonio Brown. I'm glad that Antonio Brown did not get to the point in his madness that has led to something more devastating than just the trauma of potentially threatening somebody's life. I hope that once again, I've said this about him before when he was going, I think there was a bunch of things, I can't remember what they were, but there was a bunch of things that he had done over the last few years where you're like, Jesus, dude. There was like this one video where he was like in this massive confrontation at his house and it's just wild shit. And even then I was just like, man, I just hope this guy can get the fucking help he needs.
Wasn't he in a video naked or something? I'm like vaguely remembering that he was like at a hotel. Was there a pool or something and he was naked or he...
Yeah, it was like, yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly what it was. Antonio Brown was like exposed for, or he was arrested for indecent exposure or something.
That guy's got something wrong with his brain. Like he needs to get help.
Maybe it's football. Maybe it's what do they call that?
CTE.
Yeah, CTE. It could be. But again, it's another situation where, and look, I was just pointing out about this whole thing with this Dallas Cowboy star rookie star that sadly took his own life. If we don't know who tried to help Antonio Brown, we don't know who tried to help Kanye. We don't. And one of the problems that I think that people run into who try to help people in their positions, in positions similar to theirs, is that they have so much power and influence that they have the ability to really get rid of you kind of easily. They can build walls around you real easy. They can cut you off easy.
That's right.
And so when you have somebody who's suffering from major mental illness, and they cut you off, and they have the ability to put a real bit of distance. They become unreachable, essentially. It can leave families and friends with few to no options.
Can I ask you about this scandal with the UFC? Had like a betting scandal?
Yeah. So what happened was, in the UFC,
okay,
the UFC hires a firm, as do, I guess, now all sports organizations. They hire these firms which monitor betting. And then if they see anything that's suspicious activity, meaning that they think that it could be insider kind of stuff, then they'll go to whoever the liaison is at the specific sports outfit or sports organization, and they'll say, hey, there's some fucking activity you should know about. And they'll explain the activity to that person. So Dana White got a call from Dana White, who, by the way, if you don't know, he's the CEO of the UFC.
The Ultimate Fighting Championships.
He's he's just a
MMA,
piece of shit of a human being, if you ask me.
Sports promotion.
He's an absolute trash bag of a human being, in my opinion.
He's a trash bag.
I have no fucking use for him in this life. So I'm just going to weigh that in because I think he's just one of the problems in our society. But that aside, he got a call from this monitoring organization saying there was some suspicious activities. So he went to the fighter. The fighter that we're talking about was a minus 250 favorite to win overall. A resounding favorite. There was like little doubt he would lose the fight. the suspicion around the suspicious activity that they found and that they reported to Dana White was that a lot of money was getting put on this guy who was an overwhelming favorite to lose. Not only lose, but lose in the first round. So Dana Brown,
that's fishy.
Dana Brown, I knew he was a color. Dana White went to go talk to this dude and say, hey, what's up with the fight? He did not divulge the information that the FBI, or not the FBI, this monitoring service had provided him. And he said, what's going on with the fight? And the guy was like, nothing's going on. He's like, you're okay? You feel well? Yeah, because he's trying to figure out, like, maybe there's something more. Maybe you're having a medical situation. You're not telling me about it.
So he was talking to the guy.
We know that fucking fighters fight injured.
Yeah, he was talking to the guy who was favored to win, but somehow all these bets came in that he would lose in the first round.
Yes.
So he was talking to him, being like,
but the guy that he was talking to didn't know that Dana knew that there was all this betting.
Okay.
And that all this betting was not only
that he was going to throw the fight,
but he was going to lose in the first fight.
Yeah.
He got rear naked choked. And
the suspicion is that
he went to sleep, or I guess he tapped in the first round.
Okay. So the suspicion is that he threw the fight.
Dana called the fucking FBI.
Oh my God, really?
Released him right after the fight.
Really?
Yeah, released him. Maybe it was the next day, but released him right after the fight and called the FBI.
That is a clever way to throw a fight because it's very, that's a way that a lot of really great fighters lose.
Give up your back by accident, like just not get
or like somebody,
lose a hook or whatever.
Not even giving it up. Like a lot of people are just like, they're like fucking koala bears, dude. They'll just like scramble around and get you,
Hey, dude, I was a white belt and this like this Swiss purple belt was in L.A. on vacation, and he came and rolled with us because we were rolling with Shunji. Shunji Hibaro is like one of the
multi-world champion,
one of the great
jiu-jitsu
champions of all time, and we were his students for a minute, and it was like really one of the great times of my life. Like,
yeah, it was so wonderful.
The guy touched me like his. I've had the privilege of being touched by greatness.
If wherever you guys live, if you want to learn jiu-jitsu, go to a Hibaro gym.
If you can.
Like Six Blades, I think is one of theirs. I think they have a few different, but the Hibaro brothers are really excellent teachers.
So, where was I going with that? Because we went on to the commercial on that, and I don't remember where I was going.
You were saying that you were a white belt, and there was a Swiss guy.
Oh, so I took a guy
who was a purple belt.
I took his back, bro. And so
you took his back?
Yeah, I took his back, and Shunji got mad at the purple belt. He stood over us because I got him by his back. I was about to choke him out, and Shunji got up and he's like, "What are you doing? You're gonna let a white belt take your back?" He was so mad that me, a white belt, took a purple belt. A purple belt is way, way, way up there.
You're sitting there like this, and you're like,
I'm about to choke him out, and I'm about to choke him. And fucking Shunji stopped it because he was so upset. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And the guy was like, "I'm sorry, blah, blah." It was, I should have gotten my blue belt that day.
You should have.
I fucking should have gotten my blue belt that day. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Where I'm going is that it's not impossible that, a plus 250 could take the back of a superior fighter and choke him out. I mean, that's not out of the range of possibility. We've seen it happen time and again where there was no suspicion of foul play or deception.
I have suspected that these fights were rigged for a really long time, so I'm surprised to hear this news that Dana White actually is doing anything about it. I think maybe the problem is that he wasn't cut in to the win.
Right.
Because there's been a lot of really fucking suspicious fights.
By the way, we quit watching the UFC. We used to watch the UFC. The very first UFC fight or fight night, I guess you could say, that I saw was UFC 2.
I have also been watching the UFC since the beginning. Yeah. I used to have like little UFC parties at my house with my other like middle school friends. Would come over and we'd watch the UFC. I used to like rent it from the video store and watch the old fights. I'd go to, as soon as I was of age, I'd go to all the sports bars and like never miss one. And then Dale and I would throw UFC parties at our house, our house, whatever, our fucking little apartment in LA. And then just recently, Trump started attending the UFC and I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, kind of interested in watching fights and not thinking about politics for a little bit. And then they started doing these things where they would like give him
bow to him.
No, they would give him like a walkout as if he's a fighter.
Before that,
they would give him the walk.
The whole stage was he started showing up.
That
sucked.
And then they started like featuring him more. And then they started giving him like this long walkout with like
what
a
I'm trying
song.
to say is before that, they had all these players who would like start talking to him on the mic. They'd be like, "Hey, Donald Trump, man, I love you."
Oh my God.
And they started like
promoting
promoting Donald Trump. The fighters, and I was like, well, that sucks. And so it was like, but it was guys like Bryce Mitchell, and it was guys like these fucking
country kids.
Who's that guy, the absolute racist?
Cody No,
Yeah,
not
Cody.
Garbrandt.
No, it's not Garbrandt. He's not a racist.
Kobe Covington.
Kobe Covington.
Yes.
Total pile of shit of humanity.
I know.
This guy was at UFC, at one of the UFC events in Brazil, and he called the entire crowd of Brazil dirty, filthy, something like
Animals
really.
or something.
Yeah, filthy animals. That's what he called them. He said, "You're nothing but a
Okay.
bunch of filthy animals. Fucking disgusting."
But even then, after all of that,
and
I
then
was
they
like,
started doing the walkouts
yeah,
with Dana.
I know, but listen. So even then, like after it started to be like, okay, well, you know, I also really enjoy Mexican masked wrestling,
Yes.
and they have a whole thing where like there's the good wrestlers and then there's the bad wrestlers, like good versus evil.
Yeah.
So even after we had a bunch of fighters that were showing up on the show we were trying to watch, the fucking regular MMA like sports show, and it turned into this like big politics convention, I was like, okay, well, those are the bad guys. So it was fun to like root against them, you know, like every time they got their asses beat, I'm like, yeah, you know, like just like Mexican masked wrestling. Like I was like, okay, I can do this.
He's a bad guy and a good guy. We got it.
But then what finally made us want to break up with the UFC, it was like just the one time, and I'm sure they did a lot of this afterwards because, you know, now they're doing like UFC on the fucking White House lawn. But the first time that they actually produced like a Trump campaign video that was clearly produced by the UFC people. Like, so they did a little featurette, just like how they'll do a featurette of the fighters. They'll like show you like the fighters, where they come from, like they're, you know, they'll talk about like their battle strategy, whatever. They did the same thing for Trump before his like prolonged walkout. And I was like, oh my God, I'm watching the fucking Trump show. This is enough. Like, I'm not watching this shit anymore. And that was the last time
when that
we
happened,
ever
I looked
saw
at
it.
you and I saw on your face the same thing that was in my mind. I just said, I can't do this anymore. And you're like, nope, this is it. You know, we used to buy every bloody pay-per-view. The pay-per-views went all the way up to almost $100 fucking dollars.
Yeah. And it was
so
a great
we're spending
time.
all this money. And then you know, in the early days when we were buying the fights, there was no commercials. There were ads on the mats, you know, like, but there was never any like brought to you by and, you know, and movie trailers.
I don't care about commercialism either.
I do when I'm paying $100 fucking dollars.
Oh yeah,
I
well
do.
that's true. But what I wanted was to watch sports. I wanted to watch contact fighting, like, you know, full contact sports.
Yeah, of course.
I was trying to watch some fucking pugilism. You know, it's a couple few takedowns. I didn't want to, you know, it's like you do that kind of shit so you can escape from the fucking the American political hellscape that we have to all endure the rest of our time of our lives, you know? So I was like, well, if you guys are going to fucking put it in my face, shove it in my face, then I'm just going to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? We were out.
Anyway, fuck the UFC. Fuck Dana White.
They lost fans.
Dana White's a piece of shit. He's a racist pile of garbage.
But
by the way, Dana White, was, you know, fairly recently super controversial for striking his wife on camera. And she hit him first. We saw all that.
Yeah, that was another thing.
The problem is like he didn't just hit her. He hauled off and belted her like you would have, a dude in a fight. And that's where it was like, it was one thing for him to react because he got struck, but the ferociousness of that strike that he made just confirmed every bit of piece of shit. But anyway, I don't want to talk about him anymore because fuck that guy. Fuck that organization.
Do you think that it's
mega sports?
Okay,
is what it's
but
called.
my question is, do you think that he had a problem with that fight getting thrown because he wasn't in on it?
Well, that's what a lot of comms are saying. Yeah, you know, and then of course people are like, oh yeah, let's get conspiratorial on this bullshit. No, I don't think he cares. I don't think you understand how rich he is.
I don't think it's an honest promotion though at all. There's been too many fights where I'm like, that person is an undefeated champion and they literally just rolled over and let themselves get badly submitted by somebody else.
Well, this is the first of many scandals that are going to hit sports. By the way, there's more because we just saw Chauncey Billups from the NBA. He got fucking arrested for a big scandal of throwing games, bro. Because as soon as they let betting in the sports, capitalism ruins everything.
That's right.
Everything. It ruins everything. And capitalism is ruining our sports by the second.
Yep.
And it's going to suck because eventually it's going to hit the NFL. We're going to hear about kickers purposely missing like 36-yard field goals so that they can make the spreads and all these kinds of things. It's going to happen. And when it does, it's going to obviously break my heart. Until then, fly, Eagles, fly. All right. Enough of that fucking nonsense.
This is a really, really sweet question from Maisie.
Hi, Maisie.
She wants to talk about your book.
Okay. Well, I'm game.
I've read your book multiple times now.
Wow. Me too. That's crazy. Well, thank you, Maisie.
And all I have to ask is, there's two questions. What is your favorite story you've told in your book? And is there any stories you didn't tell or forgot to?
So many stories I didn't tell. There's probably so many I forgot to tell.
We had to cut a lot because the book was too long.
The book I published was 168,000 words. My first draft was about 260,000 words.
That's a lot.
So I cut almost 100,000 words, and that didn't include the 30,000 word part 4 that I didn't write until after I completed the first three parts, which were sort of the main substance of the book. So yeah, there's a lot missing. I didn't get into a lot of things. I didn't get it. Like, I kind of harassed Jay Leno at a party because I don't like him. I kind of, just stupid shit like that. There's like a lot of different stories. Yeah. I also have some sort of outtakes. I wish you were here for them when I've read them. I'll read them again in the live, so hopefully you'll keep coming. But I'm going to read outtakes. I think the book is picking up momentum in the United States right now. And it's, Leo's done a great job at keeping a lid on it, but I think some TikTokers are getting to it. But the book is picking up some steam, and then hopefully that means that eventually it'll actually blow up. And if it does, then you're going to see, a lot more activity on this live. And when that happens, I'll start reading some of the outtakes. I have plenty of good outtakes. I read I love my original opening, which is my childhood flashback scene. So what's my favorite scene? Okay, what's my favorite scene in that movie or in that book? Do you have one?
Yes.
What is it? What's your favorite scene?
I think my favorite scene, it's got to be one of the times that you are talking to Meadow. I think the one-on-one conversations between you and Meadow turned out really, really great. I think they're really engaging, and they're sweet and kind of romantic. So I really like those it's like it's a tone shift from the rest of your writing.
Yeah.
But it's like a really welcome little cozy spot to sit and experience a different sort of like engaging relationship that you have. I thought you wrote those really well.
Oh, thank you. There are some of my favorite scenes too. That relationship was very special to me, and her struggles meant a lot to me even at the time.
We also learn a lot about you through those conversations too.
Yeah, so those are some of my favorite. I think probably my favorite is more of like a sequence like yours. I think it's my telemarketing stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean that's super fun. The karaoke scene where you're out doing karaoke with the telemarketing crew.
Yeah.
I think that's delightful. That's really fun.
I could
see the whole thing.
Yeah. I loved those people, and I loved recreating them on the page because they really came to life easily for me. Like I was able to, I have such crystal clear memories of each of them. I am somebody like Jeremy Sisto, who I love the underdogs and I love the people who struggle, because I've struggled my whole life, and they're my brethren. They're my people. So
I think another favorite scene I have is the one where Toby is interrogating you, and it's not favorite because it's like fun to read or anything, but I just think that it's just fascinating to watch what is very clearly an interrogation scene where you're not rooting for the cop. The cop is the bad guy who's trying to manipulate and frame the person being questioned, right?
Yeah.
It's like in any true crime show, you get to the interrogation and you're like, okay, here we go. They're gonna extract a confession out of this killer, this criminal, whatever. But in your scenario, it's like, I know because I've been with you the entire story, your entire memoir, that you didn't do anything wrong, that you're being wrongfully accused, and you simply cannot reason with this person who is insistent in getting you to say something bad, some admission, some false confession. False confessions are really a super fascinating thing. It's
wild when you see it in
the crime shows.
In the crime shows, because in the crime shows, you watch it happen, and you can't believe it, because this person is not guilty of what they're being accused of, and these cops are able to, through a terribly long, drawn out, and abusive process, are able to create a false confession to get people out of it. I never made a false confession. I fell into a trap, but I didn't falsely confess anything. because I took no responsibility for any of it. There was nothing to take responsible for. I would have never done anything to harm anyone, so look, yeah, I think that's my favorite stuff in a nutshell. Do you have something favorite? Tell us about your favorite thing, Maisie. I would love to hear. Since you've read it more than once, you probably have a favorite scene or two. Tell me what your favorite scene is. I'd love to know. I wonder if there's another scene. I guess like in terms of like that. Well, I'll tell you that I think my favorite writing in the book is day 1, day 2, and day 3 of the shoot.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like
No, it really moves. That's really
one of the
skilled.
I heard back from somebody who worked on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's fun.
Yeah, and they said that when they were reading it, they said, when I knew you were about to do the shoot, I was like, this is going to be fucking boring. There's no way that Dale's going to be able to write this shoot as something exciting. I mean, it's just a bunch of improv acting. What are you going to fucking do? And they said it was like the most engaged they felt in the whole book. They were like, I could not believe how easily, how fun that was to read.
I agree. I mean, you really like zoom around the set, and you've got the pacing of everything is really
and the set's alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like giving people a real example of what it's like to be on a set where. I'm really proud of that writing. I'm really proud of the book, man. Sometimes I struggle. It sits here, and sometimes I hate the cover, and just all these things. Like I'd be like, fuck, the cover sucks. And in my head, my stupid head.
I don't know how anybody likes the cover that they designed for their book. It's just an impossible thing to do. I don't know how anybody settles on a cover design.
It's so fucking frustrating.
I don't think I've ever seen a cover of a book that I read and enjoyed and was like, this is the perfect cover. Like it never is,
Yeah, it's true. I mean, some of the covers of some of the best books I've read, I've hated. And I hated the Stand cover. I hated it.
Yeah.
Thought it was absolute garbage. Anyway, I go through this process, I go through these self-doubts or whatever. And then I picked it up and I read it today, little bits of it. And I was like, wow, man, we really did, I really did pull this off. And so I'm proud of the book overall. You know that.
There's also one of my favorite scenes was cut. So, I've been trying to get Dale to create a little space on his website where he has bonus material, because there's a scene where you talk to the guy's real name in real life is Chick Ciccarelli.
Yeah.
And he's such a character. You have a whole scene where Jerry, who's the executive producer, he's like insistent that you guys take all these meetings because you never know what somebody's going to offer. So you're getting ready to market your film for sale, and he takes you to this guy's office to have a meeting, and this guy Chick Ciccarelli is just bad mouthing your film the whole time, but he wants to acquire it, but he wants to acquire it not for theatrical release, just for direct to video. And so he keeps trying to pitch you with all of these things that like none of you guys want, but you're still in the meeting because Jerry made you be there. And then you have this whole sequence where he starts to sell his other services, and he has like it's like four business card placard, like little business card holders on his desk. And each time he's like pitching you on a new service, he like hands you another business card, and each one has the same information and a just different title.
Different title.
Yes.
Same
for
name,
a different job he can do for you.
Same phone number, same address.
But the whole time he's saying that he doesn't like your movie and he doesn't think that it's going to be successful, but you should still work with him.
It was fucking weird, man.
And the whole time his name is Chick Ciccarelli, and I just think that that's so wonderful.
I ended up writing a short film that I never made based on that.
On Chick Ciccarelli?
Yeah, I wrote a short film, and the whole film is, maybe apart from a very small beginning that might last a minute or two, is the Rap Party. Because the whole movie is written by, directed by,
his movie Rap Party.
Yeah, and then he shows up and he's the only one at the Rap Party because he's literally everything on the thing.
So he has done every single job on the thing.
And then he shows up at the Rap Party, he's like, it's a rap!
We did it, guys.
And then you pan around, there's literally nobody there, and you pan back to him and he's like, we did it! And then you pan back around and there's still nobody there, and he's like, I'm so proud.
Couldn't have done it without me.
It's kind of a stupid short, but like it's basically like, so what it is it's a 2-minute short of like whatever, I can't remember what I wrote, but something like, something relatively trivial. And then it cuts to the credits, a slow roll of credits. And then there's a little, like, how you go bloopers? Uh-huh. Well, instead of bloopers, it's credits. And all the credits are the character, Chick Ciccarelli. So
in every single role?
Every single thing. He's the extras.
Makeup, wardrobe, stunts.
Everything's there. Chick Ciccarelli.
Craft services.
And then there's a picture of him alone, or not a picture of him, but how, like in Cannonball Runs, they had like, did you ever watch the Cannonball Run movies?
No.
Oh, Well, they're great, and it's Burt Fields is best. Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds.
Burt Fields.
Burt Fields was my
That's your lawyer.
That was my lawyer, sued Leo. Burt Reynolds at his best. Sally Field too. Anyway, at the end of those movies, they have a blooper roll. It's like just a little.
I've seen that. Yeah, and in the 1980s, they did that a ton.
While the credits are rolling.
Yeah, they'd have a blooper reel at the end.
Yeah, Dom DeLuise was just fucking unbelievable. Do you know who that is?
Yes. I love Dom DeLuise, but I was a small child, so I actually
Dom
don't.
Dom DeLuise is fucking, his whole, like, cannonballs were the thing for him.
I don't know whether it holds up.
It's a long time since I said that name, Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, I know. He was massive, and then nobody remembers him.
Quite literally.
Literally massive.
Yeah, Gremlins 3 officially in the works at Warner Brothers. Chris Columbus directing.
What did he do? Besides discover the new world?
I think
allegedly.
he did a Pirates, and let's see, he's been around forever. He worked with I remember Chris Masterson booked a job with him when I was in LA, like hanging out with the Mastersons and shit. And Chris Masterson booked a job. I can't remember what it was, but it was a Chris Columbus film. And I remember going, fuck, this
Chris Columbus did, he did Home Alone. He did.
Yeah, exactly.
Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone. He did Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he's massive.
And Gremlins. He did the 1984 Gremlins.
Yeah.
So he's directing the new one?
Yes.
Well, thank God. I'm
so
glad.
That's actually good news.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Did you like Gremlins?
Did he not do a... I didn't know he did the Home Alones. That's so fucking crazy. Did I not like the Gremlins? I love the Gremlins. How could you not like the Gremlins? Did you ask me if I liked the Gremlins? Did you?
I didn't realize I was being controversial.
I mean, it's one of the greatest openings ever to...
Okay, you like the Gremlins.
One of the greatest openings ever.
Yeah.
Like that whole Mogwai fucking thing in the box thing. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Also, I remember just being like unreasonably freaked out when they dropped him in water and then his back started boiling up. I was like, oh, that is really fucking bad.
I loved it.
That is the super scariest thing I've ever seen.
I know. It was fucking terrifying. Let me see. Director. 20 previous.
Sorry if I sound so nasally today.
I can't stand it.
I have a allergy.
He did
problems.
the Christmas Chronicles. It's like he's done so many, like, I Love You, Beth Cooper. Not good. He directed Rent, the movie.
He did?
Yeah. I saw the original cast on Broadway. If you read the book, you know that.
There's a book? Rent is a book?
No. I said I saw.
Oh,
I saw
your book. Your book. You said.
I said I wrote it in my book. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Rent, the play was quite incredible to see. He did Bicentennial Man and Stepmom.
Maisie has an answer to your question about what scene she liked.
Okay.
I like the scene when you met Leo for like the third time and he forgot your name. So you told him
Bobby McGee.
So you told him a fake one. I found it funny. And also I liked reading behind the scenes of Don's Plum as I watched it.
Oh, so you like those scenes too? Yeah. I really thought that came together incredibly well.
Oh, Stacey R's got a really good one. This is also one of my favorite scenes. One of my favorite scenes is where you asked RD, "Were you on A Christmas Story?"
Oh, I just read that today.
Cracking up about that. That's so funny.
I'll read that over Christmas for sure.
When you guys are like shouting to each other from upstairs, downstairs, it's just really funny.
Yeah, well, it was like that so often.
You write it so well. It's like I can hear it. You know. I'm just delighted when you succeed at the telepathy. The task of writing a book is telepathy. You know, you have to like convey to the reader what you're picturing in your head, and I know that I see everything that you're writing really well.
It's exciting. It's everything I dream of. I'm just looking at. I was like, back on TMZ to get some follow up on this, and there's some shots of Bruce Willis out at the beach. He looks great. It's obviously
Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
He's at the beach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to be real sad when he goes, man. It's a super sad situation that they're in.
It is. I was super glad to find out that the degradation was more medical, because like there was this period where he was saying shit and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like where I was just like, he was saying shit that was, super controversial.
He was? I don't remember that. Really? And it was because he was losing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody in his family said that he doesn't know that he was a celebrity, like a big actor. That he doesn't really.
Yeah, he doesn't remember any of it.
I wonder if that's kind of nice. You know, when you can because imagine living your entire life as a celebrity and having to navigate the world like in that way that you don't really have a lot of privacy and you're such a public figure. It might be kind of nice to be able to just drop all of that, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of formerly famous people will just like fuck off and live in the woods, you know? Like you find out about them years later and they like lived in some small mountain town someplace, you know?
Oh my God. So
where they can be anonymous.
Yeah, yeah. Today, I got into a, she said, and then you thought he just loved the movie, and Artie says, I'm a Jew, bro.
It's like, you dummy.
It's really funny.
Think for 2 seconds.
Bro, why would I love Christmas Story? I'm a fucking Jew. And I just sat there and soaked in my own stupidity. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. All right.
Don't know why I thought that.
Christmas is for everybody, RD. I remember when I was a kid and I found out that Jewish people didn't celebrate Christmas. I remember feeling so sad for them.
Oh, really? I had a completely different experience because I remember hearing about the Jewish Christmas, right? Because I'm like, it's like Christmas, right? It's just like, you guys, it's Christmas. And all I recall hearing was that they got like several days of presents. We only got one. I was like, oh, why did we get the worst holiday?
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, but you're missing out on the songs.
Oh, they probably have their own songs, don't they?
Yeah, but they don't have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, who fuck him,
well,
dude.
It's a great, it was a hit song.
Was that your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, I kind of like Away in a Manger, too.
We're going to have to talk about Christmas on this live, aren't we?
Oh, shit.
When Christmas happens, we're going to have like a Christmas episode. Are you going to dress up in your sleigh bells?
Yes. Yes, well, I'm going to have a Santa hat. I'm going to put a little nose on for my Rudolph nose. I'm going to probably have like a little foam cover for it's black, and then I'm going to probably knock it off and be like, whoa, what's this?
It's the wonder of Christmas.
It's the wonder of Christmas.
Cosmic Urgency said that he wrote Gremlins, didn't direct. Joe Dante directed it and the sequel. Well, that's interesting. So you're saying that the guy who wrote Gremlins is going to be directing Gremlins? Is that what we're saying? Dale, are you with me?
That's what it appears to be.
That's so interesting because the new Scream movie has the same situation. The guy who was always the screenwriter for the Scream original and the sequels is going to be directing now that Wes Craven is no longer with us.
Trying to figure out which one. Yeah. Exactly.
So that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Trying to figure out which one of these was the Chris Masterson movie. He booked one of them. I'm sure of it. It doesn't fucking matter because I don't even like Chris Masterson either.
It doesn't matter. Nope.
Fuck the Mastersons. That's how I feel. Let me see. What else have I got for you today? Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler is a must on my Christmas playlist. I love it.
Cosmic Urgency said that?
Yeah. Do you like that song?
No, I don't like Christmas songs. I don't like any Christmas songs. There wasn't a single Christmas song I ever liked.
It's the Hanukkah song. It's not a Christmas song.
I think that there was one Christmas song. I remember my sister was in like choir for like a few years. So we would go to like choir recitals, and there's that one really haunting Christmas song that has like all of the different it's like a bunch of singers harmonizing. Do you know the one? But the what is it called? I don't know anything about music, or I don't know how to talk about music, right? You guys have like your whole like vocabulary.
Okay.
But there's a type of way that you can play music where it sounds like scary or depressing, and then there's also this like you could just change the note.
Minor scale versus a major scale.
Yes, exactly. Something like this. Okay, there's a Christmas song that is in the sad scale.
Minors.
Yeah, where it's
minor.
Where it's a bunch of people, a bunch of like it's a girls' choir that is harmonizing, and they sing all the different parts. Like they'll stagger the timing of all the different.
There's a lot of them in a minor scale. I bet you Away in a Manger, Silent Night. I bet you that's all minor.
Something, Hallow Bells. I don't know. Something about bells. There's one Christmas
Deck the
song.
halls with balls of holly.
That's not the one.
No?
No, it's like a fucking churchy song. It's like a bunch of harmonizing people who are singing
Oh,
all
Holy
kind of.
Night?
No, it's like a bunch of people who are singing. Forget it.
Is it
Carol of the Bells? Erica, that's the one. Carol of the Bells. Sounds spooky, haunting, scary even. It sounds off. And so
I don't even know that song.
That is the only Christmas song that I enjoy because it sounds like everybody is gathered in the church scared of the monster that's
What's
outside.
What's the one that goes,
Gloria?
Gloria.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I
don't know that one.
I just love that one. I fucking bell that shit in my house just for fun.
In the shower?
Yeah.
It's a shower song
Because
for
he's
sure.
yeah. You just do that all day long. It's like fucking,
We get it.
Why are you so mean?
No, not me.
You mean you guys? Yeah, you're just trying to shut me up right there. Yeah, thanks, Dale. Just shut up.
Carol of the Bells is super haunting. Cosmic Urgency wants to know if we've ever seen Black Christmas, 1974. Yes. You saw it?
Yeah, isn't that have Karen Black in it or something? I mean, I did see it. Yes, isn't that what's his name?
What's his name? Carol of the
Kurt
Bells.
Russell, is it?
Spooky.
It's been so long since I saw that, but isn't it like Kurt Russell or something?
Black Christmas.
Is that, let me see. It's been so long.
1974.
1974. Cast, what do we got here? We got Olivia Hussey, John Saxton, Margot Kidder. Oh yeah, I remember Margot Kidder in it for sure. I'm completely wrong though. Michael Rappaport? What? Shut the fuck up.
So you haven't seen this one?
I know I did. I saw it. I saw it more than once too, but it's just not something I remembered well. It's like a murder on Christmas kind of thing.
I like The Ref. That's a fun Christmas movie.
The Ref?
Yeah.
One of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, it's a good Christmas movie.
Judy Davis is just fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. But it was like the perfect.
Everybody's great.
The literal I think the most perfect role ever for Dennis Leary was that role. You know, because it's like he couldn't be more perfectly cast. Because it's just this like absolutely incessantly fucking under your skin irritation. Like that's him, right? He's just like because he's irritated all the time. He's irritated by like kittens. So to put him in a room with a bitching couple that nailed it so fucking perfectly well as Judy Davis, who that was like that was when I really recognized who Judy Davis was.
I also really love that comedy trope where like the criminal has a plan to execute a crime, and then but the people involved that they have like so they take a hostage or something, and they're like, okay, this is going to go great. I'm going to take a hostage, and then I'm going to get my demands met because the hostage is valuable, and like I'm going to do my crime. It's going to work out. And what they're worried about is everything except for the wild card that is the hostage. Like I just love that comedy trope that like the criminal is being totally inconvenienced or even downright thwarted by somebody the hostage that is just annoying. Not even that they're trying to like save themselves or like get the better hand, of the criminal. What they're trying to do is get the upper hand is what I should have said. But they're just annoying and like completely thwart the criminal's plans just by being obnoxious. It's pretty funny.
I loved it. Christmas movies. I used to love them all. I used to watch them. I used to be a big Christmas guy, really big Christmas guy. I used to get filled with the spirit of Christmas.
You did?
Yeah, I used to all the time. Yeah, I used to watch, like Scrooged was probably one of my all-time favorites of all time.
Scrooge is a really good one.
I loved it so much. I thought it was like the best take on a Christmas Carol that I'd ever seen. And I did a video last year after I got my first big hit on TikTok, and we ended up like getting 300,000 or 400,000 views. And I was like, the miracle can happen to you. Yeah, like I cut it in, even though Bill Murray was at that time, and I guess still in some ways controversial. So anyway, I fucking absolutely loved Christmas movies. My favorite was Miracle. One of my favorites was like Miracle on 34th Street, and It's a Wonderful Life. I think those two.
I get those confused.
Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street is when they arrest a guy for being Santa and they put him on trial.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking great.
I guess I didn't see that one.
It's really great.
Are they? They're both black and white, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Is just amazing. It's a Wonderful Life, like made me cry. Like I was so moved by it, and I still am. Like if I watch that movie right now, I would probably get pretty teared up by it.
That's cute.
You know, I mean, look, I mean,
You're
like
sad.
I feel like that key is me. Like I am that guy. You know, there's another one that gets me. It's not a Christmas Story, but like a similar story, in a way. There's a very old, obviously, original Twilight Zone. And in the Twilight Zone, I can't remember the episode what it's called. I think I saw them all. This one was when a teacher, I think he died, and he was like, he felt like his life was this big waste or whatever. And all of a sudden, like, I'm gonna get choked up about it. But all the students come back and they basically prove to him that he was like the greatest thing that ever happened to him. But his whole life was this waste to him.
Twilight Zone was
just fuck. I was like, oh my God, bro.
Twilight Zone's amazing that way. One that really stuck with me was the Twilight's episode about Willoughby. Like, next stop, Willoughby. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Where he's on a
Fuck yeah. Remember that very well. Sorry for banging my mic. I put in a new because I'm trying to deal with my plosions.
Your
so
plosions.
I'm trying to get it out of my
Stop
plosion.
floating.
And yeah, I'm floating. Probably one of my favorite. So I have three, because Scrooged. But I love Bad Santa.
I never saw that one.
Really? Billy Bob Thornton? It is fucking incredible.
I'm not into that kind of comedy. I know the one. I've seen it before.
He's a drunk Santa.
No, I know I've seen it
You're
before,
not into
but
a
I'm just
drunk
not.
Santa Claus?
No, not really. I don't really care for Santa Claus.
I hope you'll watch it with me again and maybe give it another try and then
Sure.
Put your tiny pineapples to it because to me it's one of the best Christmas movies. I guess they're both the same. I've ever seen.
I never really.
Does anybody else like Bad Santa?
I didn't enjoy the concept of Santa Claus. There was this whole surveillance element that I found unnerving about Santa.
In general?
It's the surveillance where they're like, okay, well, Santa's keeping a list and he's watching you. And he knows whether you are worthy of receiving gifts or whether you were bad and you don't get anything or you get like coal or fucking whatever. I was always like, I remember being a kid and being like, oh, I'm being watched right now.
Well, that was a big problem for me. Yeah. That was like a really big problem for me. Like,
and
especially
I just feel
as they start, because what happens is like you forget.
Yes.
And then right around now, like September,
you'll do something
your
regrettable.
Start saying, you know what? Christmas is coming up and Santa's watching you.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, there was a psychological play on me.
I know, it fucked with my head and I don't appreciate that. And I don't know why anybody doesn't recognize that it's not a good thing to tell kids about.
You know, I think you were the main reason that I ended up cutting it from the book. But I had this whole thing that I actually did talk to, that I did speak with Jenny about when I was preparing her for her role in Don's Plum, about like how like deceptive that whole thing was. Like,
well, you don't want to spoil it.
It's not in the book.
No, you don't want to spoil the concept of Santa. Because we don't know whether anybody who's listening
is believing in the lie of Santa Claus.
Oh my God. Dale's just going to do it.
Yeah, it's a lie. This is a mature show.
I love the story where you were having this discussion with the guy you made a small group with. And he was talking about putting it in his movie that Santa Claus is this myth that everybody...
It was in the movie. So I got a draft of the script, and
So
in the draft
funny.
of the script, he basically reveals this is a family movie.
Yes.
That it's a PG-13.
It is a
or not even
faith-based...
PG-13. It's a fucking, what do you call it? General. What do you go? G? Rated G.
Yeah. It's a faith-based movie.
Faith-based
People are going
Christian
to
movie.
watch these with their kids.
Yeah, they're going to watch this. So we're at a coffee shop doing note sessions because I was doing note sessions in this coffee shop that I really enjoyed and sit there and work for 6, 7, 8 hours and, get fucking caffeinated to a ridiculous level. And, I got this note. My note is, you can't fucking spoil the lie of Christmas in your movie. No one's going to see it. Families will warn each other, bro. You're a Christian. They'll be like, don't show this to your kids. As soon as they say a Christian movie is not good for their kids, that's a wrap, dude. We're wrapped. So we're having this conversation. He's arguing back.
He's fighting with you about it?
He's fighting me about it. He's like, dude, you know what? And then all of a sudden, this woman comes up to us and she says, excuse me. He's right, points to me, then looks at Matt, the director and the writer, and says to him, And I would appreciate if you'd stop talking about it right now. And it turns her head, and there's her fucking daughter staring right at us, who 100% believes in Christmas and 100% believes in Santa Claus.
So she had to
and I just looked at him. I didn't
like,
have to say anything. I was like, and then he like made his fucking note.
That's so funny that she like had to rush over and was like, "Hey, you cut the shit. There are other people around here with kids."
Cosmic Grizzly thought Bad Santa was great, and then said that that was the movie that the director wanted to cast Mira Sorvino, and you heard about that, right?
Yes.
Because that was what was that again? What was that whole scandal?
The scandal was that if one of these actors didn't behave the way that Harvey Weinstein determined was favorable to him, then he would badmouth them and tell everybody in town that they were difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And that they would lose opportunities because nobody wants to work with somebody who this professional Harvey Weinstein says is difficult.
Yeah. This fucking business, bro.
And it's exactly the lie that we're hearing about Blake Lively from Justin Baldoni.
Yeah.
That she's difficult to work with. And so that's why she should lose her opportunities.
It's so frustrating that these people exist.
Well, what's frustrating is that it's not transparent by now. Like, I think that if I was casting another movie and somebody told me somebody that I was seeking was difficult to work with, I would be like, okay, tell me more. Like, I wouldn't just take their word for it, you know? I'd be like, that's suspicious.
Indeed. By the way, today, I told you I kind of troll It Ends With Lawsuits. It's pretty fun to do. I got to tell you. But today, bro, I fucking KO'd a motherfucker. They deleted everything. They ran away with their tail between legs. I set them up I didn't even set them up. I mean, they set themselves up. But at one point, it said the argument around like Blake Lively asking for too much money. And I was like, so what were your fucking thoughts when Baldoni was asking for $400 million? Were you also screaming the ridiculous of that? One person says, there's no fucking way she would have made that much money. I'm like, so where's the $400 million? Where was he going to make $400 million from? And the point I was trying to make was that these losses that they're trying to incur, and this is true for Blake Lively and her claims, isn't just on her own goddamn money. She was running businesses.
Yeah.
And all of those businesses suffered. All of those businesses lost gross sales. So the kind of losses that she's trying to recoup isn't just her own personal losses. It's her business losses. She was running a booze company and other companies, clothing lines, and fucking everything else. I don't know how many companies Blake Lively has. Let's find out. And, how many companies does Blake Lively don't? I got to get a new keyboard, Angela. It's fucking lame. I cannot fix this one. She owns two main companies, Betty Buzz, her non-alcoholic drink mixer brand, and Blake Brown, her hair care line. She also co-owns a stake in a football club with her husband, Rian Reynolds. Rian Reynolds. So she has two other businesses, but those businesses suffered, and those are the losses that they're going after. But anyway, I fucking KO'd this human being. So this person's like fucking, basically they start shouting at me, telling me that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, which I do. And not only do I, but then I talked about this $400 million lawsuit, and I said it was, dismissed. And they come back at me with dismissed because it was dismissed on a technicality. And I was like,
the judge did not write 132 pages of a ruling for it just to be dismissed on a technicality. So I said, these people are off their ass.
Here's what I, by the way, this one hasn't been amazing. This one hasn't been downvoted. I am losing karma. I'm bleeding karma on Reddit right now.
Oh yeah, but it's so great because you don't have to care. It's not like with like TikTok. They'll actually fucking, there's real consequences. Like you'll lose your shit.
Well, this sub, It Ends With Lawsuits. Like some subs, if you get downvoted to hell, you can't post. Like it'll tell you can't post for another week because nobody likes what you're saying. Yeah, I've been on subs. I've been on subs where I get downvoted because I can be controversial at times online, because why wouldn't you, especially if you want to stand up for something that's reasonable and you see a bunch of people fighting for garbage. Anyway, this sub does not do that. So I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of downvotes on this sub, hundreds of downvotes. And yet they let me keep posting. I thoroughly enjoy that and appreciate it from them. So I wrote, he didn't appeal and cannot appeal, because she's talking about how he's going to appeal the loss of the $400 million lawsuit. if you actually read the ruling, you might actually sound like you know what you're talking about. Here's an excerpt from the judge's ruling to get you started. Like,
why are you being snotty?
no, they were calling me names.
Yeah, I know,
doing,
of course.
So I'm not taking the fucking high road anymore.
No, I like to take the high road with these things.
Go right ahead. I'm not gonna.
Well, because like, eventually you can just point out, be like, yo, like you're being really fucking condescending.
I'm not calling anybody names. I didn't call anybody names. I said that maybe you could get better at being a fucking, at reading and gleaning fucking information instead of just relying on these poor sources that you choose to, take to the grave. So then I quoted the judge. And here's the quote from the judge. The court will not grant leave to amend the majority of the Wayfarer party's claims because amendment would be futile. The dismissal of the claims does not rest on technical pleading defects, because they were trying to say that it was a technicality. And the Wayfarer parties have not made a showing the complainant's defect can be cured. The Wayfarer parties do not identify any particular factual allegations that could be added to support the defamation or civil extortion claims. He literally said you don't have any fucking evidence.
Yeah, that's not a technicality.
So then
brother.
I say there's so much more, of course, and some of it even more scathing. Things like, quote, the exhibit contains additional details on Lively's threat, but if anything, these details cut against a finding of extortion. So literally
excited.
the evidence that they put forward was evidence that the judge is saying favors Blake fucking Lively. But these people want to build this narrative because what they do is they just go and they some fucking, sassy Dave Navarro asshole is like, oh yeah, it was just a technicality. And they just believe it. They just fucking tattoo it on their fucking forearm and get on with their day.
That's right.
So I love being up in their face and hitting them down. Anyway, I had so much fun because this person went on and said to me, with that response, their response to me was, you obviously have no idea how case law works. And I was like, are you talking to me or Judge Lyman?
I just quoted the fucking judge. What are you talking about?
Anyway, that person ended up so fucking embarrassed that they deleted everything in the conversation. Because I think they finally read it over and they were like, oh, geez. Because
no, what happened was that their parents got their phone back. Their parents were like, I just went to the store for 20 minutes. What the fuck are you doing with my phone? And they looked at their whole Reddit account and they're like, you've been arguing with a stranger online? They deleted all. Austin said, it ends with lawsuits. Subreddit got me banned and I had to appeal. So you're saying that the subreddit doesn't ban people?
Well, I didn't say that. I said it doesn't. I'm not doing it. Well, here's the thing.
So Austin really pissed people off.
Yeah, you said some shit, girl.
That's great.
I was very much I'm still very, I don't say anything bad to them.
That's an achievement.
I just say I'm condescending in some, when they say, they call me delusional.
Yeah, but so what? You don't have to be condescending.
No, I don't care. I'm just going to defend that assertion. I'm not delusional. You're the one who's delusional, and I can prove it because I actually have fucking, evidence, not the kind that you like, the kind that's actually real.
I'm not delusional. You're delusional.
Yeah, no, it's not me. It's you. Shit fuckers. Anyway, what else have I got here? You guys are so great. Honestly, today I was like, I might have said incel.
I cannot confirm nor deny if I called someone an incel.
It's entirely possible I might have called somebody an incel. That's what probably did it. That's really fucking
No,
funny.
but there's I hear some of that language on there where they're talking about how she shouldn't have dressed the way that she dressed or some shit in a sexual harassment lawsuit. I was like, oh my God, I hope you don't know any women in your whole life. Stay away from them. Somebody was saying that today about her being upset that he kept trying to kiss her in the dance scene.
Yeah.
Where she was like, I think we should talk. And he was like, okay. And then he would keep pushing in for a kiss as if that wasn't problematic at all. Didn't prepare her, hey, I'm going to be kissing you in this scene. Didn't tell her in advance, hey, now that we're in this scene, I'm going to be kissing you. But instead just went in and tried to get a kiss on her fucking face after she repeatedly was like, hey, I think we should be talking. Let's make some space. Maybe we should just talk instead of, you kissing my fucking mouth. Somebody said that that the only way that you could say that he was at fault for that behavior of his was that he should have hired a better actress. That the whole source of the problem was that she wasn't a good enough actor.
She didn't put out. She wasn't a good actor.
Right. It's exactly what they were saying. That she wasn't willing to get fucking surprise kissed by a married man in a fucking scene that he's
so gross in that
absolutely
scene.
Could have prepared her for. Yeah. She was obviously in a romance with him, with the character in the movie. He could have totally been like, yeah, in this scene, I think I'm going to kiss you. What do you think? He didn't do that. He just tried to kiss her. Fucking creep.
By the way, I got booked on the Gavel Gavel today.
Oh, sweet, Dale.
Yeah, the interview.
Why'd you wait so long to tell us?
The interview is coming up in a couple weeks.
That's fun.
We'll record a couple weeks. So I sent them the book.
Oh, I gotta play it cool. What if they're listening? That's very interesting, Dale.
I'm excited to do this. And I told her I'm very excited to sit with these guys that they're professional podcasters. And, I was discouraged by them because I sent them.
Why were you discouraged?
Well, because they used my clip in one of their shows.
Oh, yeah, but you don't have to run through the whole thing about how you thought one thing, but it didn't turn out to be true.
If you don't mind, I will finish what I'm saying, though. And so I was like, and so I reached out to him, and I said this whole paragraph, like long, like, hey guys, by the way, in case you didn't know, here's what, because when they did this thing, they were like, yeah, he got into some fucking fight with, I don't know, some big shots in Hollywood or whatever, and they just brushed the whole thing off. So then I wrote him, and I wrote him like a lengthy, like, this is bigger and better than you fucking think, and it might be a subject for you to explore on your podcast, Gavel Gavel. And so I gave this big long pitch, and then I never heard from them at all. I was like, well, but actually, it's not even true. I didn't just send a big pitch. What I said was, hey, by the way, if you're interested, I've got a crazy story that I'd love to tell you about.
It's interesting.
They said yes, so I sent them.
So they're covering this celebrity lawsuit. And you're like, wow, I was in a celebrity lawsuit.
Correct.
And it's a different, similar situation. Like, if you're interested in this topic, it definitely seems like you might be interested in my topic.
Well, what was cool about it was that I told them all about it, and I didn't hear from them, but I guess what they were doing was some due diligence on it.
Yeah.
Because when she finally got back to me, and I, of course, am such a fucking insecure dork that I was like, oh, fuck them then,
No, it's like, it's even worse. It's like, you're like, oh, well, I guess they hate me then.
Well,
which is so destructive.
I was just like, why not? Why wouldn't you be? I just couldn't believe like, oh, fuck, it's like, this is interesting. Anyway,
it is.
So it is, yeah. So I was sure it was like a wrap, and I wasn't going to hear from them. And then she writes, but not only did she write, they did their due diligence. She was like, I'm a huge Jenny Lewis fan. I'm a massive Rilo Kiley fan. She just went and saw the reunion tour.
Is this something you're allowed to tell people?
Why not?
Well, you got a private email from somebody. Is it bad to tell everybody what's in it?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, you got to fucking check out this book, dude. She's going to love it. I'm like, Jenny Lewis is all up in this book, bro. She's awesome in it. And it's, pre Rilo Kiley. I also told her, I haven't told anybody this really, but I also told her that part of the reason is because I know somebody's going to ask me about the song, and I'm not going to fucking tell them about it. But I co-wrote a song with Blake Sennett. And they would, in the early Rilo Kiley days, they were playing it, like, these gigs. It's a parody. It's a fucking parody. I got really drunk one night and I wrote this.
It's like a Weird Al Yankovic?
Well, no, it's not a parody of an existing song, but it's satirical, I guess.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was, and Blake, like, he picked up the guitar, he started hitting this, like, this progression, and I started just...
Musicians are amazing.
Lyrically.
That's so crazy that they can do that.
So I started singing, and then we just worked on this song for like 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours or whatever. And we wrote this song. And then I was like, oh, whatever, And then a couple parties, he'd whip out the guitar and we'd do it. I can't tell you what it is because it's just truly embarrassing. It's a comedy song, a comedic song, but it's kind of embarrassing. It's like goes along the line with like Mannequin Pussies. We'll just say that. And then
we haven't heard them. Maybe they're very serious performers.
And then I don't care what the name is, what it is. And then one day, Rilo Kiley, well, they didn't have a name yet, but they were playing at, I don't know, Largo, or not Largo, like some of the, whatever, maybe it was Highland Grounds. I don't know, somewhere like that, one of the cool little spots in LA. And I went to go see them, as I often did. And they didn't know I was there, and then they played it. And I couldn't believe it, man. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, they're playing my fucking song. I just felt so good.
Really?
He didn't know I was there because I got in there last minute. And then so it all wrapped or whatever. And then I walked up to see them, and Blake was like, oh my God, I would have called you on the stage, dude. I was like, oh, I'm fucking glad you didn't do that, dude.
No, that sounds like a nightmare.
Dude, I don't want to go up and sing one song that I wrote fucking drunk for 6 straight hours at some party. No, dude. First of all, and they did it terribly, by the way. I was like, you missed the fucking bridge. I mean, what was going on here? It's pretty funny.
Well, if you want it done right, you should have done it yourself, Dale.
No, it's cool.
Should have performed it in front of the crowd yourself.
Carol Burnett has donated. First of all, Carol Burnett's alive.
Wonderful.
Hey,
did you ever watch her show?
All the time. Tim Conway was one of my favorites and favorites.
I know.
Like, he's like up there like all the way
I
up there
know.
with like the great physical, comedians of all fucking time. He's up there with Jerry Lewis. He's up there with Jim Carrey.
I've been listening to a lot of interviews with Alec Berg and Bill Hader about the making of Barry, and this one interviewer had this really, it was kind of a boring interview.
Did you used to watch him? Watch her?
Yes, this one interviewer had it was kind of like a boring interview otherwise, but he asked them what they think is funny. Like, what kind of jokes do they like? What kind of comedy are they interested in?
Right.
And it was such a great question to ask these people who are comedy writers and have been comedy writers for a really long time.
She's 92.
So they, it just made me think, like, how would I answer that question? Because I'm I'm picky about comedy. Like you mentioned Bad Santa. I was like, that's not the kind of comedy that I like. But then you mentioned Tim Conway, and I was like, that's good comedy.
He's the
It's
best.
just interesting thinking about like the different types of comedy that people resonate with, and not just like performers or like shows or something, but the kind of comedy. Like I was trying to get you to articulate what kind of comedy resonates with you. It's a really interesting question to explore. Maybe we'll discuss it on the left.
I mean, I have a very wide range of what works for me because, like, I loved Stephen Wright and, what's his name? Hedberg? What's his name?
Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg. Those two guys.
Yes. So like this, it's a specific type of comedy,
super
though.
Dry.
Yeah.
Super,
It's these people who are like very monotonously telling jokes. So the delivery is monotonous and kind of boring, but the joke writing is good enough that it kind of lends it. I don't know how you would categorize that.
I think it's dry satire.
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you think that you would like?
Do you know who Emo Phillips is?
Yeah.
So I liked everybody. I liked Emo Phillips.
My question is, do you think that you would like that kind of comedy if they performed it differently? Like if they performed it in a way in which they're more animated? Do you think that those jokes would be funny? Or is it because they perform those jokes?
Well, let's try it.
So monotone.
For my birthday, I got a humidifier and a dehumidifier. I put them in the same room and I watched them fight it out. Or, for my birthday, I got...
See, it's just so much funnier.
Like it's just like immediately,
Right? Yeah.
like his voice though, like Stephen Wright's voice.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yesterday I parked my car in a towaway zone. When I came back, the entire area was missing.
Yeah, see, that would not be funny if you gave it any energy.
No, it's exactly right. I had to stop driving my car for a while. The tires got dizzy. And the way he does it is like,
it's not funny.
I had to stop driving my car for a while.
He does a whole show like this.
I loved it. I could watch
really
him all
funny.
day long. He was one of my inspirations as a young comic. Stephen Wright was big. And then Emo Phillips, like one of my early jokes that I had with a physical, like some physical prop humor was that I was a vegetarian at the time, and I was kind of an activist vegetarian, and I think it's still the case with vegetarians who are vocal, especially vegans. But certainly back then, whenever you spoke about being a vegetarian, people would be up in your shit and they'd be like, "Oh, fucking vegetarian! Oh, Mr. Fucking Righteous," and all this other shit. It's very annoying, and if it comes up in a conversation, it always does because you're hanging out
at
with
a
your friends.
restaurant
Or
with
you're
your
in a
friends.
restaurant, or hey, let's go to McDonald's. That's not really a good one for me, buddy. I mean,
Yeah, right.
everything there is like death. So it always eventually came up, and then it would always come back on me, and I'd be this pretentious asshole to everybody else who's sitting there fucking, pulling arteries between their teeth and whatever else. So one of my gigs was I was preparing for a show at the end of the week.
Stand up?
Yeah, stand-up show. And I didn't know what I do a lot of improv, but I always write my improv. Like I always write my situations out and then I go up and I deal with them. I couldn't figure out what to do for this week and I was frustrated and I was actually at a grocery store. It's an old-fashioned word, but it's still pretty good.
Oh my God, the fucking president said that.
And
you could tell that he had never said the word grocery store. Didn't know that it was still the common usage. And he was like, "Oh, that's old-fashioned."
So I'm in this grocery store.
Idiot.
I'm in this grocery store and I'm walking past the meat department. And I was kind of I had my own little PETA. Is that what they call it?
PETA.
PETA. I had my own little PETA streak in me. I was in this meat department and I was walking past it and I walked past and I saw like this section which had like sweetbreads. It had kidney. It had like all the gross stuff. And I was like, I know what I'm going to do. And I went and I bought a bunch of it and then I took like kidney and I put it in baggies, like not baggies. I put it in like a cellophane, like saran wrap, and then I just like put a twist tie on it, so it's like little sacks,
A little sack of organs.
meat. And then I brought up a bag, and I was like, you know, I'm fucking sick and tired of I'm a vegetarian. You know what I'm sick about? What I'm sick and tired of doing is fucking trying to explain to people why I'm a vegetarian. It's like people don't understand, like, it's like what it's like to be a vegetarian. And so I just want to like make it clear so that, you know, you guys know I'm a vegetarian now. And I can't remember exactly how I set it up. It was totally fucking shock humor though, because like I was like, so I'm a vegetarian because like, well, I mean, this is why I'm a vegetarian. And I pulled out like a head of broccoli. And I was like, check it out. And I took a bite out of it. I was like, it's just a head of broccoli. And then I threw it out to the audience, like broccoli. And then people caught it. I was like, it's cool, right? Broccoli. It's just broccoli. And then I did it with a carrot and I threw it out and somebody caught it. I was like, it's just a fucking carrot, right? And I did it like with 3 or 4 different vegetables and a couple of pieces of fruit. And I just tossed these fruits out to the people. They were fucking grabbing them out of the sky or whatever. People were like out of the air or whatever, catching them. And then I started throwing the meat, my little sacks. I was like, and so, but you know, and so for you guys, who's meat eaters? And because I used to have this interaction with the crowds. I was like, put up your hand if you're a fucking meat eater. And they're like, oh, you like this stuff. And then I threw like these fucking bags of kidneys and like sweetbreads and intestines and all this like absolutely disgusting shit. You could hear the gasps in the crowd because you could hear the fucking shit hitting the fucking tables.
Oh, not like that though. It would be like,
yeah, and it was like splattery, you know. Couple of the bags broke open and the fucking club got all upset.
It's like a hazmat hazard.
Yeah, the club got upset at me because...
Of course they did.
One
you terrorized people.
Got like fucking kidney in their drink. And
so did you get any laughs?
I did, yeah. I got like a lot of shock, laugh, humor from it. It did work out pretty decent, actually. I never did the joke again, though. I did it once.
Of course not. That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, I don't want to like shop for fucking guts every time I'm trying to do a gig either. But
yeah, it kind of like defeats your purpose. You're like giving money to the butcher instead of when you're protesting the butcher.
It was fun to do. I did a bunch of I did a bunch of little shocky stuff like that once in a while, especially if I got like, there was one gig where it was a military base.
You had to perform on a military base?
Yeah, I got a gig on a military base. It was like 6 or 8 comics or whatever, and I was like whatever. I was when it was up to about 15 minutes, and I could not get this far. These fucking people were dead to me. They just would not laugh. They would not move. I tried every joke I ever wrote or thought of. And like some of the stuff I would kill at on a normal everyday like club.
Dude, it's just because they're depressed, bro. Like they're like a lot of them
didn't laugh at
those
anything.
people are not having a nice time.
So I was like,
they're stuck in the prison. They're in the belly of the beast. Like that's not a place where you laugh.
Oh, that's right. I was emceeing the gig, and I was totally killing the crowd. I mean, my job, I was emceeing. So my job was to go up and do 2-3 minutes or a minute between every.
When you say killing the crowd, do you mean
like not killing the vibe,
destroying the vibe?
Yeah, I was like bringing them down.
Because you know how if you're a comedian and you're killing it, that also means that you're doing a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to be clear.
I was not doing a great job. I was doing a very bad job. But I just remember that show in particular because I was like, I got pissed off at the crowd. Basically, I was like, you guys are fucking lame.
Oh my god.
And I was like, all right, you know what? You guys are so fucking lame.
Oh my god.
That I'm just gonna stay up here. I'm not gonna bring a comic up. Fuck you. Like that's how I was. And the fucking whoever it wasn't a club. It was like a whatever. The organizer, they had this look of just absolute horror on their face.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you guys are fucking lame. You didn't come for a comedy show. You come to stare at somebody speaking at you. You guys, I'm fucking dropping my best jokes and you got nothing to say. Well, that's cool. That's fine. You can call me the shitty comedian, but I think you're the fucking shitty crowd. And I'm going to punish you the whole night. I'm not leaving. I'm staying. And there's like comics waiting to get on. Of course, I'm not going to stay. I'm just playing. Anyway, I got them fucking upset at me. Like I got the crowd upset at me. But what I did was I turned it all around for the comics because the energy was dead.
Yeah, you had to do something.
I had flatlined this motherfucker. And I was like, I gotta get this stuff, you know. So I start fucking making them fucking chant to get me off. I'm like, you got to get me off of here because I'm not fucking going anywhere until you guys start moving some muscles in your faces, in your flat, dead faces. And I was just crass as fuck. It worked, bro. They started like booing me and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. And they just started getting nuts about it. And then the crowd ended up getting wild. And then I was like, okay, that'll work. I'm out of here. And they were like, yeah, woo, he's gone. Next comedian came up and fucking murdered it, dude. It was awesome. It was one of my probably one of my best shows because it was the first time I ever I had bombed many a times. Like many a time I'd gone up and just absolutely, I mean, you would not believe the pain.
You say that a lot, but like you also did really well, right?
Oh,
like,
I had great shows.
Okay.
No, I brought the house down.
You tend to like only talk about the bad times.
No, I brought the house down many times. I was a good comic. I was a good comic. I was a solid comic for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. Like I live with you. You're really, really funny.
Yeah,
so I can only imagine what you were doing when you were meaning to be.
I was 100% like a legit stand-up comic, like for sure. I could have had a career as a stand-up, no doubt about it. I was writing solid, especially toward the end. I got an agent. Other comics were like, "Hey, dude, you remind me of Jim Carrey." I didn't even know who that was at the time, but I was really killing it toward the end before I chose to get out of it because that one, I did a gig with this comic and he was like, "Bro, get out now." we got all wasted after the show, and I had this incredible show. I just brought the fucking house down, and he was like, "Why don't you want to hang out after the show?" I was like, "Fuck yeah." It was the coolest thing, by the way, because like in comedy, one of the coolest things about comedy is you can become Leonardo DiCaprio for a night in terms of your fame. Like if you can go up and crush it, and I loved this, and it was like, whatever. It's kind of a weird and weak thing because it's not something sort of how we grow. It's not something I would even think about today. But back then, I would kill it, and then I would go sit at the bar. Like I wouldn't go hide out. I would go sit at the bar so people would look at me. I'd be like,
just soaking it in.
Yeah, you're looking at me. Oh, I'm fucking great, aren't I? Just like that. So this was one of those nights.
That's so funny because you have Leo is the sign of your 10th house.
It is,
so
yeah.
you're like just trying to bask in whatever
glory of my
whatever
of
light
my
you
moment.
can get in your public image. Yeah.
So this one show, I just absolutely fucking killed it. I sat at the bar so everyone would stare at me. By the way, they don't just stare; they send drinks. So you know what I mean? There's that.
Yeah, that helps.
Like all of a sudden, I'm like, oh yeah, I love another drink. Ka-choosh. So the headliner, and I opened for him specifically. I did like 15 minutes or whatever it was before he went on. And I just crushed it. And then at the end of the show, he says, "You want to hang out?" I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "You want to come to my room?" I'm like, "What the fuck are we doing at your room?" But I was like, "Yeah, okay." Figuring like we'll probably do some, a little extracurricular activity. Some substance abuse stuff. We get to his room because I guess we closed the bar. And so we grabbed like whatever 6-pack off sales and went to his room. Off sales is a Canadian term because you have to go to a government agency to buy alcohol there. And off sales is a license to sell booze over the bar. So you can buy 6-pack from the bartender.
Oh, that's neat.
So we grabbed a 6-pack from the bartender at last call and went to his room to finish off the night and get super plastered. And it was there that he told me to get the fuck out of comedy as fast as he was like, "You see this? This is my life. This is my life."
Oh, that's why he took you to his room?
Yeah.
So you could see what his life is like as a successful
I live
comedian?
out of that thing. He's like, I pay rent in Los Angeles for an apartment. He's like, "You think my life is great?" He's like, "Yeah, I make $1,500 a week." 1980, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He's like, "I make $1,500 a week." He's like, I make fucking good money. I also pay for an apartment in Los Angeles that I spend about 20 days a year in. He's like, I haven't seen my family and I don't even remember when. Forget about my friends. He's like, "I have no friends."
Oh my God.
He's like, "Comedy is the loneliest thing you'll ever do in your life."
No way.
He's like, "You want to hear the big secret about comics?" He's like, "None of us are fucking happy.
Oh my God.
We're not happy, And he was like, "So get out." He's like, "You killed it tonight." He's like, he knew like I was like eating the fruits, I had a wicked night. Like I was, man. It gets me excited to remember.
He could see the shine in your eyes.
It was my last show. It was my last show. He scared me out of the business, bro. That was it. In fact, he said, "Leave on a high note." He's like, "Leave on a high note. You killed it." He's like, "Do something else. Become an actor. Become a director. Become a writer." But if you want to have friends, if you want to have family, if you want to have community, don't become a comic. All you'll be is sad. All you'll be is lonely. And all you'll be is on the road. And, for some people that works, a comic that I was coming up with, she went on to tour forever. I think she still does. She loves it. I caught up with her years later at a wedding, of all things. She's a dwarf.
What do you mean of all things?
Well, because she was we were on separate sides of the world.
Oh, you just happened to see her?
I was invited to a wedding. She was invited to a wedding. We didn't know we were even going to be in the same room together. I'm like,
that's neat.
"Tara?" She's like, "Dale?" She was a dwarf. Is a dwarf. And
is that what they? A little person?
A little. I don't know what you. I don't know what to. I love her, so I'm not in any way trying to. Anyway, she was a little person, and I wrote a lot of jokes for her, a lot of good ones. The one she liked the most was the fart detector.
Oh my God.
And then at the wedding, dude, she was like, you want some fun at this wedding? I was like, fuck yeah, Tara. So we just did, we danced every fucking dance. I was doing like jumping over her and like just doing stupid shit. We were just totally exploiting her height because she loved that. I mean, her whole gig was her size, you know. We were great friends. Loved her dearly. But anyway, she loved touring. You know, she was like, she loved fucking being on the road. I knew right then at that moment I was not going to be on the road, that it was time for me to get out. And so I did, and that was what turned my whole sights on. I mean, most comics, they want to break into television, and I did too. I was like, I'm gonna get a sitcom. I'm gonna be the next, you know, Jerry Springer. I'm gonna be the next, whatever, you know. Robin Williams is my fucking absolute. He was my favorite of all time. Still, well, Carlin's probably my favorite of all time, but or Lenny Bruce.
George Carlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, Lenny Bruce. Like those guys, like the guys who like made the huge like social impact. You know.
Yeah.
Those guys really like, those are the guys that like, because I'm always like, oh, I want to do something meaningful. I want my work to not just be entertaining. I want it to, I believe, I recognized early that most of the work that I admired and that lasted was work that tried to make a bit of a difference in something, like shed a light on something important, or make some kind of statement, even if it's rather deeply seated in subtext. Didn't matter to me. I could, you know, if I recognized it, I admired it. And that's really what I wanted out of my comedy. And so, when he was like, you know, get out, get into acting, get into writing, get into everything, you know, it was really easy to like make that shift in my head. I was like, yeah, cause that's really what I want to be, you know? And I was always worried about like, oh, if I am lucky and I am successful and I get my opportunity, am I going to be stuck in a sitcom that's going to be like making me a lot of money and giving me all the kind of accolades that I've sort of searching for in my life, and recognition, but in doing something that I don't actually really believe in or that I really want to be. So he was the one who was like, go be what you really want to be. Don't just use this as a stepping stone, because it's not going to be a stepping stone. You're going to get sucked into it. When I taught at the University of Georgia, one of the professors took me aside and he was like, this is not for you. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you're never going to be an artist again. If you end up going down the road of academia,
I know.
He's like, if this university decides, if you decide to go with this university and go all the way and become an actual professor in this university, it's a wrap for you, dude.
Yeah, of course.
And he scared me out of it.
I mean, a lot of people can successfully do that, but they live in cities where they can also do the other thing, you know? Like if you're like in this city, you don't have that outlet, you know?
Yeah.
You'd have to do 20 times as much work as the next person who lives in a city in order to achieve any of your goals here.
I've ever since I've left comedy, I think probably every single year since, and I left when I was, I guess 21 or 22 years old, and as opposed to months.
22 months old.
And and when I left comedy, every year, this year included, I think about going back. Every single year, I think maybe I'll start writing some jokes. Maybe I'll go back on the stage and just give it a run.
I think that you should. I think it's good for people.
Well, I won't until COVID's under wraps.
Well, no. I just mean like writing jokes, trying to engage in comedy, I think is like, it's like really, really great for the rest of every aspect of your life would improve. Not yours, just anybody's.
I understand.
Like every aspect of your life would improve if you like honed a quicker wit, right?
Yes.
Like comedic skills kind of translate into everything. Like if you're a sharp, witty jokester, you're going to be more capable in every aspect of your life, you know?
Yeah.
You're like thinking on your toes in this one way. You're creating a person who thinks on their toes in every way.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's definitely something worth pursuing always.
I'm so grateful for you guys, and big thanks to Delicate for volunteering to be a moderator for the channel. It's going to be very helpful going forward.
Sweet.
We are looking for people who want to get involved with either doing some researching or some writing for the live. So if that's something that would interest you, please go to freedonspawn.com, go to the contact page, and write me and Angela and say, hey, yeah, man, I'd be interested in being research. And research would be like, some of the topics that we like around here. We like science, we like nature, we like entertainment, and in particular, film, television series. And so researchers, as I understand them in this sort of space, are people who would like help us gather information and facts and give us an opportunity to stand on two firm legs when we talk about shit. The days are hard for me to find space to do as adequate amount of research as I would prefer for bringing some of these things and my opinions to bear. So if it's something that interests you, please reach out to us. It's a non-paying gig. You'd just be contributing to the growth, but it will become a paying gig if the channel succeeds. So that's a really cool thing because, and we'll figure out what a pay structure looks like. It's probably like a piece sale kind of thing. But so in the end, if the live actually ends up growing and earning money, then everybody will be participating in those. Everybody who's a part of the production will be participating in those profits. So if that's something that interests you, please let us know. But if you're just here because you want to enjoy the fun ride that we're having, that's more important to me than anything else. So certainly don't do this or volunteer for this if you even for a second think that it might in any way jeopardize the good time that you think you're having. It's like a little self-deprecation.
You think you're having.
Well, there's a little self-deprecation in there, like little. That's subtext, man. That's subtext that you think you're happy. People are like, is he insulting me or him? Who's insulting here? He's getting insulted. That's the definition of subtext, man. You got to dig. What's the next paragraph? Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. It's something we're interested in. But even if not, if you're not interested in, we are very interested in seeing your smiling little chats.
So interested.
What? I'm just babbling. I love you guys. It was a great live. I had a good time. It's a slow night, but we find ways to enjoy ourselves, even on the slow nights. You're the best. You got anything you want to part with? Nothing at all? You want to just say goodbye?